It's where it says that there's no live upcoming videos.
All right, I started quote unquote streaming again. How's it looking?
I don't see anything yet.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
Yeah, neither do
wait, it says
I.
it's live.
There's a live.
Hold on. This.
Oh, yep.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yo,
All right.
is it?
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh,
Oh, and I can hear us.
I think I'm
okay,
seeing
I
it,
see
actually.
it. I see it. Okay.
Okay, I see it too, but it's not in the live section. It's only showing up under home.
It's real.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
I don't know. It's just on home. I don't know what that means.
Okay, here we go. It works.
Do we live? Do we live?
Are we up? I hope that
Yes.
they can.
I mean, I am.
Looks like we are. Looks like we're live. Um.
All right.
If anybody,
So,
Oh, little McNuggets.
if anybody out there can hear us.
Hello.
All right, sounds
everyone
good.
out
All
there
right.
that-
Hi, everybody.
Okay, I'll take the
We do have some.
bottom
We do have some-
left-hand corner.
How are y'all doing?
Yep. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Billy and Mandy, Little Rock of Horrors Reanimated live stream with some of the animators here. All right, so everybody, introduce yourself. Maybe in alphabetical order, I suppose. Is BDWS here? Is he back?
Yes.
All right.
I've been here for a while. I'm BDWS. I am primarily a 3D animator, and I did 3 parts for this collab.
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a moment. Let's see. I'm gonna go here. Is it showing
All right.
on the live?
I'm still just seeing the magma draw.
Okay, it's working.
Capturing YouTube.
We've got the straight
Yeah.
truth from Aspen Dental. Don't need to know about that.
Evil Little McNugget says, "Can you do impressions when you introduce yourself?"
Okay.
We also got Peter Griffin, draw Peter Griffin, Brian Griffin.
All right, so
Okay.
here's BDWS's first scene, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that was.
There's a slight delay on the live stream, by the way. Just so you know, you guys are gonna see it a little bit after I say it. For the people on the call, I mean. So that was the first one.
All right.
Let me find the second one.
Second one was 65, I think.
I'm gonna promote this in one of the Discord servers I'm in.
You passed it by quite a lot.
Okay. Can you, oh wait. I see it. It's like a little bit after here.
Yeah. No. It's a little
Yeah.
bit
We're gonna
fast.
get it. We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's scene number 2 from BDWS. There we go. And scene 3 was the last one right here. Let's get this up.
I'd do anything to make up for it.
Yeah, I think it
Reading
was
for
the last
scene
one,
2 was
wasn't it?
such a pain.
Some brains.
So he was our 3D animator.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them. Yes, true.
The other one was Snotch, and I think there is one more.
Yeah, I think so as well.
We got quite
but
a bit
I
of 3D
forgot-
animators on this.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, I
and
think the
Go on.
Drew Brian.
the one with the pox. Sorry, I think the one with the popsicle sticks, I believe, was CG, meant to look like live action. If I'm
yeah,
not
it
mistaken.
was. And that animator was also on the Chowder Kanishmas collab. I believe his name was Alex Fulcrum. That was his credited name. And okay, how about you, Aiden? Introduce yourself, and then I'll pull up and show some of your scenes.
Alrighty. So, how do I introduce myself? Hi, everybody! I made it a friend, and I'm a... Let's see. I'm an I'm a Flash-based animator, comic artist, and part-time character designer based in the Philadelphia area. You know,
Very nice.
raised, well, not really, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, name's Aiden. I animate a lot of things, but I also do a lot of comics. You might recognize me from this collab, actually, since I think this is the first, like, major collab that I've been a part of. But I also do a lot of my own stuff, like People Are Crazy, The Boulders. I'm currently working on an animation of the Powerpuff Girls comic dub, simply titled No No Jojo, based on and using audio from Phantom Savage's comic dub.
All right.
Let's see what else.
And here's your first scene, but I believe did you animate this first, or you animated this one later?
I think that was the last one I animated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so, but it was the first one to appear in the collab.
Yeah.
Is that one? And
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? Alright. And
that was your second one?
Nah, that was my last one, I believe.
And where is the other one?
I think it was the... Hang on. So... I know you can't really see my cursor, but it's right... Oh, I think you just passed it. Alright, so, go right.
I'm going.
Because I think it's a lot later on in the... Yeah, it's a lot later on in the shorts, though. I think it was, like, around... I want to say the 6th third mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, there
I'm
it is.
probably
There it is.
mistaken.
There it is. I see it. I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on here?
Yeah, right there.
There we go. That's all three of your scenes.
Right.
Do you have any comments on how you animated that?
I mean...
Like what sort of techniques you used and
I guess-
program and whatnot?
Yeah, I think the first scene that I animated, I used at least a little bit of shape tweens in it. Mostly in terms of the eyebrow animation. I don't know if you can really see it, but, you know.
And I should probably ask
See-
that. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's mostly just right around the end of my second scene. It mostly just uses motion tweens and shape tweens and stuff like that.
I really like
So,
how
yeah.
it came out.
Nothing really. Yeah, thanks.
I should also ask, BDWS, how was your animation process?
Long. I think I made somewhere around 270 assets total for all three of my shots.
Wow.
I every
170.
every single texture, material, model I made completely for this collab, ground up. Like even like all the eyeball textures and basic stuff like that. Like I hand painted each one specifically. I spent a long time painting all the wrinkles on the old man and like doing procedural tongue textures. The animation is pretty straightforward because I kind of wanted to blend, like the style of 2D and 3D a bit more rather than just like, just like trying to make the characters in 3D. So I animated all the characters only from the view of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And the gun for the cop
like
is
cheating
just-
the camera.
Yeah, it's like that, but like making sure that like I don't animate anything in 3D. It's only just done from the camera to make sure that there's like no like depth movement. Like all the movements that's supposed to look
it's
like
on
depth
it's
is
like
just-
on one plane. I see.
Yeah, that's how I animated everything to make sure that there's like no really like it doesn't get too actually like 3D on that sense. And then for the most part, I kept stuff pretty like on twos, except for the aliens. And like when I had to do like the alien Mandy and like the other alien guy, it's like I had to keep those on ones, or otherwise it just looked horrible. And then like the gun, and then Mandy's jiggling had to be done procedurally. But then the rest of that, like I didn't use any sort of tweening or anything. It's just like one pose per frame.
I seem to recall you saying like it takes like a long render time for those shots. How was it for them?
The render time was kind of annoying because there's certain stuff like you can get a preview of, but it's like it doesn't really look the same in the preview as it does to actually get the final render. So a lot of the shots I had to render like 3 or 4 times before it was like passable. And like the first one I think was something like 3 hours every time I wanted to check it.
Wow.
The cop shot, because I had to use a ton of lattices for that, like to make the brain look all squishy going in and out of the head. And I had to use an absurd amount of geometry to not get like mesh artifacts on the cop's like face because of the way I did his mouth. That one took like upwards of like that one took almost 5 hours every time I wanted to render it, but I only had to do that one twice. And then the final shot took like about 4 every time. So yeah, I think for the entire scene I spent like 26 hours of render time.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And I was working on all of these shots on my off time from doing like animation full time.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, but
Yeah.
then your like computer is occupied while it's rendering, is it not?
Yeah, a lot of times it is. So that's why every time I'm like, had to go out, do errands or anything, I am rendering.
Wow.
Yeah. That's about it. Anything else that's like interesting and more technical, I think I'll try to make like a breakdown video of it, like how I rig the eyes, because if you notice they're like oval shaped, but they don't rotate out of his head. I don't know. That's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
Which
but
one
yeah.
was it?
Yeah,
For the cop one.
that's what I kind of want to learn, actually.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over like real kind of basic stuff that like might be kind of interesting for people that like want to learn Blender. Just be like, how do you do something that's not typically explained in like average tutorials, but something everybody should know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way, like you see, like how his eyes are looking 2 different ways, but they're still like vertically, like I don't know, oval shaped. Yeah.
Yes,
I
see.
that has to be done with like rigging, like so that eyeballs are spheres, and then I have a standard parent bone for the eyeballs, and then I make a parent bone be scaled along the z-axis, so that way when the eyeball controlling bone rotates, it still rotates like normally, but then the world that it's in is scaled upward, and that's how you get that effect.
So all of this was animated in Blender.
Yeah, all the texturing, lighting, and stuff, that was all done in Blender. But then I had to render, like I would do like the final video export and render in DaVinci, so that way the colors would look good. That's a huge tip. If anybody takes anything away from whatever I'm saying, never use Blender itself for your final render, because it will change the colors. The colors will not remain consistent.
So how did you adjust it back in DaVinci?
Oh, all you have to do is just render it in DaVinci normal.
Oh,
you don't have to do
okay.
anything.
I
Yeah,
see.
it's just Blender's video editor changes the colors because they use 2 different color spaces from the still images to the video images, and that has been something people have been complaining about to the devs for like 7 years now.
All right. Let's see. Up next, how about you, Random Harry?
Hi there. My name's Random Hiri. I was the original, collaborator, host for this. And I basically got a job at Warner Brothers, and so I got really busy with this one. So Osito ended up taking over for that one. But for then, I'm a 2D animator from New York City. I worked on Animaniacs. I worked on Simpsons, Midnight Gospel. I'm mainly known for working on stuff like Hell of a Boss and Lackadaisy.
Nice. Let's take a look at your shots. Actually, first was the title card that you did.
The king
Oh boy,
is
we
ready
got
for
was-
you.
Now? Am I late?
The last interview.
Yeah, that was the first one I got. Like, the first thing I done was like doing like the title card art.
And then your first scene that appeared was Grim sharpening his scythe. Let me get that up.
Always wanted to like do a Grimm shot because Grimm is actually my favorite cartoon character of all time. So I had to get at least one Grimm in there.
Yeah, I really love the colors in this one particularly.
I always love playing around with color. That's like one of my favorite things. A lot of it came from like a lot of like underground comics that I used to read, and also like I love horror movie posters. I have a whole book based on like posters from like the golden age of horror movies.
Oh, very nice. I'm looking for your next shot. It's where the meteor is talking to Billy.
Mm-hmm. It's the one where he's like, just your average evil meteor from out of the
Yeah.
sky.
There's a lot of really cool squash and stretch on that one, I think.
Oh yeah. Since like he's a meteor, his whole body's just like not moving. Like so you have to do a lot of expressiveness through like the eyeball and the tentacles. So you had to make that whole eyeball like a character in itself. And also just like I try to match it with like the way Voltaire sings.
I'm just your average
Because like his
meteor
voice
from
is so
out of the
charismatic
sky.
and everything.
Totally. I see you've got like the watercolor background texture as well. In the in the sky.
Yeah, because I always notice that with like Billy and Mandy backgrounds. Billy and Mandy backgrounds are very like UPA-ish. So like a lot of them have like this very simple like square like texture to everything. And would put like simple colors for like stuff like houses or grass or build any kind of buildings. So, but like they always had like that for like foregrounds, like the sky and everything. So I wanted to keep like that like amount of detail when doing the backgrounds for this.
So did you like use some sort of special brush on Photoshop, or how did you do that?
Basically, I did that background in Procreate. In Procreate, I basically took like a nice dark purple for everything and made like different shades of that same color. And another thing I do is like I would make my own overlays. I would take an overlay from like cardboard and I would like do a little spray painting.
Oh.
I could have one that
like digital spray painting and stuff?
actually those were done in person. Like I did those physically.
Oh, that's interesting. And you scanned them or took a picture?
Yeah, I scanned them in. I have like 6 of them that I made, and usually I make like a bunch of them to give it that like painted feeling.
Very nice.
If I wanted like a dark marble or like kind of like something that's like bloody and meaty, like I had like different like painted textures that I would do for that.
And you
I learned
use
that
acrylic?
from like
Oh
for
yeah, you
some
said
of them,
spray
yes.
paint as well.
yeah, spray paint, airbrushes, and everything. I learned that from Bill Ray, who was like the original background artist for Ren and Stimpy.
Did you learn from observing his work, or did you like speak to him?
I've spoken to him.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh, really?
He's a very nice guy.
Good to hear.
All right, let's see. Up next. Oh, sorry about that. You keep going.
Yeah, there's another like if you want to like also study the process of like doing something like that, also look at Scott Willis's stuff. He's the original background artist for Samurai Jack and Primal.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a speed paint of like him doing like a background on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. Except I think I saw it on Twitter.
Oh yeah, it's really good. If you want to like just do like that really simple like colored background style, if you want to like really give it like an edge, definitely recommend that.
I actually have been interested in learning that, so that's pretty neat. I'll be sure to check it out. All right, let's
Oh
see.
yeah,
Shows
that's
are really beautiful. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think who's up next is Mad Soup Central. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
That's me. Hey, I'm Mad Soup Central. I usually go by Rain or Maddie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a writer, an artist, an animator, and most of my work can be found on Instagram at Mad Soup Central.
Yeah, I'll be updating the description and thumbnail and whatnot later with everybody's information. All right, so let's find your shots. So first, the shot that you did was the very first scene. That comes up. Let me pull this up.
Hey, Mandy, wanna play? I've got brains.
Yeah, so that's the first scene right there. Let me find the second one. The second one I believe was when the meteor was discovered, and it's like sort of like flashing. Oops. So is that right there? And actually, I believe you had 4 scenes, didn't you?
Yep.
Where was the third one?
The cop watching everybody dancing before he pulled out his gun, and then near the end when the meteor is trying to
No
convince
living
Billy
being
to
should ever eat processed
bring
food
him
for
Mandy's
every
brain.
single meal of their life.
he like picks him up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure.
There we go. There we go.
Brains, it's okay.
That one had like a lot of moving parts in it. The one I just played.
Tell me about it.
And let me
Yeah.
find- Was it hang on. Was it this
Yeah,
one?
that one.
Yeah.
I am looking at the stream, so it's really delayed, but it starts a little bit before that. I did do like a
Oh,
that
yeah,
wasn't
yeah, I
really
see. Oh, and I see like the sort of brain matter is like moving on him.
yeah.
All right, let me.
Now, fess up, boy. Come on, heck. Is there someone that you're trying to
Oh yeah, I
protect?
also got a question.
Bring it down,
Dane, what was your favorite you animated? I'd say the part where Mandy's brain gets sucked out. Which I believe was the first scene that I animated.
I believe that was all your shots, Rain, correct? Sorry for interrupting you, Aiden.
Yep.
That's alright.
It was all of them.
Do you have any comments on on animating them? Which one took the longest? Which one you're like most proud of?
Probably the just like the dance scene when it's just like a big shot of like everybody's different dances, and I like changed up the dances too because I wanted to make them a little more interesting.
I really like that old man Mr. McGee.
throwing it back.
I'm breaking it down like that. That was
Yeah.
funny. And then I think you mentioned that Billy was in fact moving that fast in the original episode.
Yeah, I
with
was just like,
him kicking
okay,
it back,
I'll animate
yeah.
him like that.
That was funny as well.
Yeah, like Random Hurry said, the backgrounds I noticed, like the skies are made up of like square patterns, and I did that too in my scenes because I thought that was really interesting, and it did like get to a point where I thought it looked pretty cool. Like, it's not a bad strategy for achieving something interesting. Also, you mentioned the brain jiggling around too inside.
Yeah.
I wanted like I wanted to add I felt like that would add like some depth.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like, I remember like how Random Harry was saying earlier that like since like part of his body is like so stiff that he had to really focus on the like arms and tentacles, but by having his like body move a little bit, that I feel like that could help.
Yeah, like brains are probably squishy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like we got Thanos
I wouldn't
Irwin.
know, but still, I had him like moving his like entire body around. So, and I think like the biggest example of that was like still in the dance scene, because he like just like almost like hops off the ground, and like his goo like shoots up and then like bounces everywhere. I'm really proud of that.
Awesome. Yeah, very very nice work, and definitely came in clutch as well when we were down to the wire when we needed someone to do the first scene, which actually was initially 20 seconds. Actually, I think this leads into me introducing myself. A bit late in the video for that, but you know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm Osito Draws. I'm an artist and animator, and I hosted the project as well. I did 3 scenes. The first one that appears is the I've Got Bread Hotel Mario YTP reference scene. I'll put that up.
You know what they say.
All toasters.
Here's the
Toast.
problem.
All toast is toast.
Earlier in development of the project, we suddenly needed somebody to do the first scene, which initially the scenes were cut when the camera cuts from scene to scene in the original episode, making the first scene the longest being 20 seconds, which was, very, very long, of course. And I was trying to think, who am I going to get to take this 20-second scene? Who would be able to be reliable to animate this whole thing, because I wouldn't be able to dump it on a backup animator last minute, because I feel like it would be very, very difficult to get a 20-second scene done in like any reduced amount of time. And I was thinking, am I going to have to take this scene myself? And then I started looking at it, and when I got to the I've got bread part, that's when I thought of the idea for the Hotel Mario gag, and then that also gave me the idea that that's how I can split it up. So then I asked Mad Soup Central if she could take the first part, and Pocket Painter if they could take the part afterwards, and it worked out like that. And let's see. My next scene that appears, this one I actually, let's see where it is. I actually did this in 2021, I believe. Back when the collab was first like starting up. So that's the second scene of mine that appears. On the cereal box is images of this character Gooby, from the movie Gooby. He was played by the same actor who played Hagrid. Basically, he's this like Scottish, quote unquote, imaginary friend bear that like lives in this kid's shed, and he's like, I don't know, it's like it's kind of a strange movie. But I put him on both sides of the cereal box right there. And my third scene. I don't know. I actually forgot. My bad. I got like Alzheimer's. I might have done 2 scenes. Anybody know about that? I think I did 2 scenes. Okay.
I don't remember.
If I think about it, yeah, I think I did do 2. If I ever remember, I will let you guys know, but I probably won't. Yeah, I did both of mine in Adobe Animate, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I know one thing that we wanted to discuss was, like, how did all of you guys find Billy and Mandy? Like, when did you first start watching it? Like, what's the show to you? You know?
We go in alphabetical order.
Yeah, let's go in alphabetical order. But this time, let's start with Aiden because the alphabet doesn't start with B. I screwed that one up.
I thought you were going by last name, so that's why I thought like he was second.
Oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, you know, because the last part of your username is CG, and then mine's friend. Anyway, I mostly remember watching at least a bit of it back when it aired on Cartoon Network back in the day. Except I think I started watching it regularly, like, I want to say like a few years ago. And then I practically like fell in love with the characters, you know?
Mm-hmm. Then
Yeah,
next, sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much my story. Short but sweet,
Yeah.
you know?
Next, BDWS.
So I always really wanted to watch the show as a kid, and like I got to see like maybe one episode at my grandparents' house, and I got to see like a few more at this one restaurant that was like kind of like a, I don't know, cheap place where you could take kids to eat sometimes, and they had like cartoons playing on in the background. But I never had cable or anything, so I didn't get to watch it, and I pretty much just saw like the same 3 episodes. The one where Billy lays an egg, this one that we did the Reanimated for, and then one other one that I can't remember the name of. So then, after I did like the Courage Reanimated thing, that was kind of like the same story, but I bought the full DVD box set. But then there's nothing like that for Billy and Mandy,
Right.
but I found out most of the episodes are just uploaded to YouTube.
Right.
So that's pretty much when I started actually getting to watch the show and getting to appreciate a lot of the things that this show did that nobody else had done at that time, which is, it's kind of more fun, like in some ways, to watch it now, because then like you get to appreciate some of the ways it was actually very legitimately a groundbreaking show, which is cool.
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting into difficult territory. We're past A, B, and C. I'm gonna need a moment to think. I think it's okay. I think you're next, Mad Soup Central. I think you're next.
Okay. Well, I did see the show when it was airing, I think. I remember, like, seeing it again when I was, like, conscious, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, just sort of remembering, like, the shapes of the characters, but, like, nothing specific, because it was a really long time ago, and I was, like, 2.
Mm-hmm.
But, when I first started, like, actually drawing, and exploring sort of what I wanted to do and exploring animation, I started like looking at a bunch of old cartoons, and that's how I sort of discovered Billy and Mandy again and like started watching the episodes actually.
How long have you been animating?
I don't know. I feel like the first like one I got fully completed I did in like 2020.
Oh wow.
Not that long, but
I feel like you got really good really fast, to be honest.
I feel like I have like a natural I feel like I sound like such a jerk for saying this, but no, I feel like my brain is like visual and I like pick up on like visual things really fast. So
That's great. I wish I could learn. I wish I could learn as quick as that.
I still have a long way to go.
And I believe next might be Random Harry.
Oh my god, I'm gonna sound so old when I say it. I remember when the pilot came out.
Dang.
So I remember when it was just Grim and Evil,
Oh wow.
and like,
Oh.
so like,
Though game
I
one.
got to like
The
Evil
Elder.
Con Carne. The Evil Con Carne
Oh yeah.
like was starting out, like it was still on. So Billy and Mandy was like very new. So I always liked like the horror themed cartoons. So definitely, and also like the humor of like Billy and Mandy. It was just like that one show that was like, this show was meant for me.
Mhm.
Like back then. So like whenever like Billy and Mandy would ever come on, that was like the one show I actually taped on VHSs on like my TV. So I would take like blank tapes and I would hit record and I would watch those over and over. Because like they barely had any home media.
Right. Right.
The only thing I really had Billy and Mandy DVD wise was the one Cartoon Network Halloween DVD
Mhm.
that had Jacked Up Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I would abuse that DVD over
Dude,
and over.
same.
I still have that DVD somewhere, but like it's all scratched up to hell and back. I remember it would be so scratched up, it would only play the like intro to I Am Weasel.
Oh wow. So it's more of like a nice to have it item.
Yeah, but like I remember when Big Boogie Adventure coming out, I would have like the VHS for like that because I recorded on the TV and I still have like the old commercials. I would go back to it from time to time and I would see like the old commercial that would play. So you would have like Dracula with Billy's birthday and I'm like, "Oh my god."
And
I'm like, "Was it just that long ago?"
And what inspired you to initiate the collab?
What inspired me? Basically I finished like school. I was only getting like small freelance work, so I had like free time. Oh, but like Billy and Mandy's like my favorite cartoon of all time, and I think like this would be a really good thing to do to spare my time. And I also know Voltaire since like I live in New York City, so I'm also in the goth scene too. So if I'm in the goth scene, I live in New York. Voltaire is like not that hard to like spot out.
Right. Yeah.
And we get along because like we talk about like stop motion. That's another thing because before Voltaire did music, he did stop motion animation.
Oh really? I didn't know
For,
that.
like
I didn't know that.
he would do like
Really?
commercials. He would do like MTV like bumpers.
Wow.
Do you do stop motion animation, Random Harry?
I did a short film a long time ago. That was stop motion.
Yeah,
Voltaire
yeah,
taught
I've
me how to
actually
like,
dabbled
do
into
it.
stop.
That's really cool.
He
Yeah, I've
taught me
actually
how to
dabbled
make like
into
puppets.
stop motion too.
Stop motion is like one of my
Except I
favorite
was
games
like-
ever.
Yeah. Yeah, except I was like 12, 13 when I was doing stop motion animation, but then it just kind of stopped after that.
I did stop
Yeah,
motion animation on my my like DS. It was
Oh,
fun
yeah.
though. It was fun. I miss it. And I would love to do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Billy and Mandy's one of those things I just never let go of. So like I thought this was always my favorite episode as a kid, and it's kind of like a 6-minute episode. So I'm like, all right, this could be really good to do.
Yeah.
And then right when I was starting, boom, get a job.
Well,
Yikes.
good
So,
thing
like-
it all came together, you know.
Yeah,
I think that
so
it being a short episode definitely helped with that. I remember during the beginning, right when I had taken it back in like last March or something like that, it was really difficult to find people to animate for it because I guess it didn't. None of the trailers didn't really take off yet at the time, and so I was like messaging like people that I knew who animated. I went in I looked at the Chowder Reanimate Discord, I believe, and I just like messaged like a bunch of people that like I've animated with before, asked if they were interested. The first trailer did all right. It brought in some people. Of course, a lot of help from Billy and Mandy clips. Also, the owner of this channel, he's just letting me use it.
I really appreciate like Billy and Mandy clips.
Yeah, definitely big thank you to him
That's
because that was definitely necessary.
Yeah, it worked. That's how I found this project. So
I was actually on like Chowder Reanimated too.
Oh yeah,
I did 2 scenes for that.
that's
that's
cool.
awesome. That's a big one. Like it has a lot of views. I'm obsessed with views right now. I've been obsessively looking at the comments and like checking the views on Little Rock of Horrors because I'm just excited. And I also wanted to mention somebody in the comments was like, you should animate Big Boogie Adventure. And I'm like, a million years.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah,
Like,
isn't
well-
that like an hour and a half?
Yeah, like, well, if somebody else wants to host that, you know, they can feel free and make the 1,000-lined spreadsheet, but it's not gonna be me.
Yep.
Yeah, and I already have plans to host my own Reanimated collabs sometime soon, so stick around for those.
Awesome. What are you thinking of doing?
I initially wanted to do like Charlie Brown Christmas, which I believe is like a 20-minute thing, so I don't know if that's gonna be
I'm
a
surprised
thing.
no one did that yet.
Be right back.
All right.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think there was one that tried to do it, but the project ended up getting scrapped, so I'm planning on doing what's essentially my own version of Charlie Brown Christmas Reanimated. I think I'm just gonna
Nice.
call it like Charlie Brown. Yeah, like Charlie Brown Christmas Redecorated.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
I think I also overheard
Yeah,
someone say
especially-
they were on the Courage one. Who was on the Courage Freaky Fred one?
It might have been one
yeah.
of the people who left, who like briefly left.
Harry and me, we both did that. That's how I found about the project.
I was on that one too. But
Yeah.
like the only other Reanimate collab I was in was like the Freaky Fred, the Chowder Kanishmas one, and Team Fabulous Reanimated.
Cool.
I was on Invader Zim 10 Minutes to Doom. That was like a script that was like it got a read through, but it was not produced into the actual show. I believe it was meant as the finale, and so like fans decided to animate it. And so I was on that one. I was on Zim Eats Waffles, which is still in production, I suppose. It's not out yet. Chowder Reanimated, and the upcoming Angry Beavers Reanimated as well.
They actually asked me to be on that one. I was busy with Hell of a Boss, so I had to turn that one down.
I think it's going to be really like well put together. I think it's going to turn out well.
Oh, so for like 10 Minutes of Doom, I remember at Invader Con they did that. Like the table read for that
Oh,
one.
yes.
Because like besides Billy and Mandy, my favorite cartoon growing up was Invader Zim. Growing up.
Awesome.
So like I remember when Zim came out too, I was obsessed with it. Like I was like the annoying AMV kid back then
I have
who would take
returned.
like Invader Zim clips and make AMVs with like Linkin Park or
That's
like
so fun though.
Oh
Korn,
yeah.
Korn,
Yeah, I know what you're
Slipknot.
talking about.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was that kid too.
Oh
I
yeah.
was
But, like,
basically raised on Zim. Like, I had Netflix for a while, like back when they would still like mail you DVDs, and that was pretty much all I'd get every month was just the same few episodes of like Zim over and over again. That was my favorite show, and I got to watch that.
Yeah, I
Really?
was obsessed with everything like Zim. So like on YouTube, I like one of the earliest communities I would do on like DeviantArt days would be like Invader Zim groups and Gorillas groups.
That's
Nice.
cool. You think
So,
you think
like,
they
all
had like
the-
an
Yeah, Gorillas
influence
is
on
great.
your? I was gonna say, do you think that they have an influence on your current art style?
Oh, 100%. I remember people would ask like how to develop a style. I think one of the best things to do is like get influenced by 1,000 things. Don't get influenced by like three things because like one thing because like I know you won't really grow or like you got to learn like other stuff.
Right. Oh,
So I was influenced by Gorillas a lot. I was influenced by a lot of Jamie's stuff. I really delved into Jamie's work along with Jonan's work because my favorite thing he's ever done was also Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which
Oh,
Invader
yes,
Zim was a
yes.
gateway too.
Oh yeah, I have a copy of that.
me too.
I have like the Question Sleep logo tattooed on my forearm right now.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Cool.
Another thing would be
Nice.
like old like Looney Tunes. Like I had a bunch of public access VHS tapes to like classic cartoons. So like I would study that along with like Billy and Mandy, like old like comic strips too, and a lot of Soul Eater.
Oh yeah, Soul Eater's like really visually interesting. That was like the first anime I watched, but I didn't finish it. So I've been intending to rewatch it. Oh, and sorry, you go.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch like Cowboy Bebop actually.
Oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop is a staple to watch.
Yeah.
I
There's a
think it's
lot
on
of.
Hulu. If you have Hulu, you can watch it on there.
I think it's also on
Yeah, I think
Netflix too.
All right.
All right. Well, actually, now I think I've got to talk about my, Billy and Mandy relationship and whatnot. Actually, interestingly enough, and I haven't like heard anyone else who had the same thing. I was initially a fan of Voltaire before Billy and Mandy. I didn't really watch cartoons on cable. Like I had some DVDs and whatnot, but I didn't have Billy and Mandy. I barely knew about Billy and Mandy. I liked Voltaire, and I would listen to like certain Voltaire songs. I heard the Brain song, and I didn't know it was from a cartoon or anything for like the longest time. I just thought he was like going like especially hard on that one, And then later, in high school, I watched like some Invader Zim, right? And then I looked into like what was like related to that. And I saw, you know, Richard Horvitz had other roles, and he was in Billy and Mandy, and so I was like looking about Billy and Mandy, and then I saw the Brains episode, and then I watched that. I'm like, this is Voltaire. This is so cool. And then that's actually how I found Billy and Mandy. Weirdly enough, I didn't know. I didn't find Voltaire from Billy and Mandy. It was like basically the other way around. But I really loved the show. I've been pretty much like consistently like drawing fan art of it and like doing fan stuff from it ever since I found it. I really like the style, the humor. I especially like the dark aspects of the show. I love the supernatural side of things, like how he manages to translate all these like monsters and like folkloric creatures into these like super iconic designs. I don't know. I just think it's super neat. And additionally, my friend had just reminded me that I did indeed have a third scene in the collab. So I'm gonna find that right now.
All right.
You know what's like the funniest part about like me learning, doing a lot of Invaders and fan art back in the day? When I got hired on Hell of a Boss, like when I got my first Moxie scene, he's actually kind of proportioned like Zim. So I was like, this is weirdly familiar. So just doing that, I'm just like, a lot of the characters are also designed that way too. So I was just like, I have this in the bag.
Oh yeah. You were
So
made
I
for
felt
this.
like, yeah, when I was doing Hell of a Boss, I was like, man, drawing Invaders Zim back in the day probably paid off.
Yeah, Moxie looks a lot like him. Okay,
Just a
here's
little
my,
guy.
that was my third scene. It was the walk cycle of Billy and Mandy walking towards the brain-eating meteor.
Right.
I like how pissed Mandy looks in that one.
Yeah, she got like her teeth, you know, out like she's like grimacing. Thank you. I know, not a happy camper. I have a process of that one up on my channel. I thought it was fun, and I also liked that like it was like a looping animation. So I know when I uploaded it myself for my channel, I extended it, and that also helped because we did have like a little bit of a clipping or error at one point during the Reanimated, and a lot of scenes like had to be extended. But since it was just 2 looping walk cycles, it was just really easy for me to just add more frames onto that.
I think that was like a Google Drive thing. That was so weird.
Yeah, people hosting Reanimateds in the future, I think it'd be a good idea to make sure that your scenes like go together. Like, let's say you clip them, right, and you upload them to Google Drive, download them again, and see if they go together, and there's no problems about that. It'll save you a lot of trouble, I think.
A lot of trauma. Save you
a lot of trauma. Oh my god.
Yeah, trauma.
Or
you can switch to using
like,
Mega.
dying.
It's a lot more reliable than Google.
Mega, yes. I remember your recommendation for it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good idea. Google's like sussy. I think so. It doesn't like usually doesn't even show like previews or anything when you're looking for it.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about Google.
I had to make the switch to Mega from like work because I was working on this one project that was like done with a lot of international aspects of it. So it was like a really long video too, and everybody was just like having too much issues with Google Drive, and then they're just like one of the higher up bosses were like, "Why aren't you using Mega?" It's like this is why, like, you're literally costing us time and money by using stupid Google Drive when you need to be using this.
And that's probably a very good recommendation. And
literally someone almost got fired over using Google Drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
And any comments about Dropbox? I've seen that used as well.
We use Dropbox on Lackadaisy,
Yeah, that's another one that's
Yeah, I think.
and honestly, that's made
I mean,
things
I
a lot easier.
used to use Dropbox, but yeah.
yeah.
The only
Yeah, I
time
used to
like
use
Dropbox has given me problems was just uploading stuff. Getting the files is no problem. It's easy on Dropbox. Just like sometimes like the megabyte like speed is like not good when you're uploading like animation files.
I'll bet. But I think that's just kind of with every single thing you can upload to.
Yeah, so that would get really annoying.
Hey, so random, since you're the guy that created this whole thing, I figured, like you haven't had as much time to talk about this as everybody else, so like what was the thing that like really got you into the idea of like doing like reanimatieds in the first place? Like what's the thing that you like about it most, since I know you did like the Courage and everything else?
I've never hosted one before, but like I've been a director on projects before, so I thought this would be like a fun thing to do and like something that's like no pressure because whenever I'm directing something, there's usually a time frame and there's a lot of pressure. But like being in charge with more people, like that's like the hard part because you gotta like because a lot of people have different time frames and everything. But like I really wanted to do something really fun like this episode because of my love for the show.
That's really
And
cool.
like I'm really glad I got to do this thing and also it finally coming out.
Yeah, I'll
But like
bet.
I really got to thank Aceto for everything like they got to do. Like I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Like just
you're welcome. Sorry.
yeah. No,
Uh,
I
I,
really mean it. You did fantastic.
Thank you. I
Absolutely.
tried my very best on it. I remember I was an animator on it, and Billy and Mandy Close was texting me, and he was like, do you know if this is like ever gonna come out? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I like asked
Yeah.
about it. It turns out you were busy, and I really wanted to see it get done because like I know back then like maybe there was like 12 completed parts or something like that, but still even then like I knew like a lot of people had put a lot of work into it, including you,
Yeah, I know.
Random Harry, and I was like, I think it would be, I think I would really like to see it done, especially because I worked on it too, and
Oh, yeah.
so I just figured
lot of people-
I'm gonna make sure
Yeah, there was
it gets
also-
to the finish. Sorry.
No, sorry. Yeah, there was a lot of people like dropping out. There wasn't not enough. There was also people just like not coming in and everything, and also like just there was so many times I had to focus on like deadlines for like Hell of a Boss had Lackadaisy. When I was at Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers was very heavy on like deadlines.
Yeah, the fact that I knew that you were a director before and had experience like that, and I'd seen some of your work and talked to you a little bit before. That's why I was like, I wanted to get on this project, not just because I like the show, but because I was like, if you're in charge, it's probably going to be pretty good because you know what you're doing. So that was like a big motivator for me to want to join.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that was like I was interested in doing some like other projects, but like I had joined some other reanimateds, and like I had to drop them because the management was too unorganized. Like your stuff makes sense because you actually had a schedule because you got like an industry job and like stuff might have been happening slowly or whatever, but like you still knew what to do and you're still pretty good with it. Like even during the kind of down
I,
for the
I
project.
still feel like I could have done better though. I still feel like I could have done better.
I mean, sure, but like all in all, especially far as these things go, I think you had your stuff, pretty good together. And also, like, Otso, I don't know how you pronounce it. I heard
Osito,
you
it's
say
alright. Yeah.
Acito, sorry, I forgot. Like, you took over and you did a really good job too. So I'm really glad that you got to do that. But yeah, just saying, like in the beginning, I'm really glad that Random Barry was the guy who was there because like his art is really cool, and yeah, I was a fan. That's actually why I joined.
Thank
And this
you.
is also the last Reanimated that I'm doing. Like I've had other ones that I've had my parts finished for probably like a year or two, but they're still not done. But
Yeah, that's
not
like,
the last one released. Yeah, this is the last one I'm doing.
it's like a little frustrating when that happens.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to do when making this is like I love animators. I love talking to animators too.
Yeah.
So just having like a space where people can have fun and animate on something fun. I'm like, this would be a great chance to like just talk to animators because I had a lot of fun talking to the people on Freaky Fred Reanimated, and I met a lot of friends on there. Like
First Reanimated
Alvarez
project that I did.
and like Zurel, which like because of that like he got me on Monkey Wrench.
Oh wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
so,
actually remember seeing that too. Post about that.
oh no, like Monkey Wrench is doing so good right now.
Yeah, it deserves to. There's a lot.
I
of
actually
great-
saw a few episodes of it.
I'm finishing
Yeah,
my
I
scenes
agree.
for the new Monkey Wrench. Like all my scenes should be done around like next month, and we should be getting it before the end of the year.
Cool.
So exciting. I'm really glad to
Oh
hear that.
yeah.
I gotta say this about Zurel too. Zurel has like the best work ethic I have ever seen. Because he could do so many scenes alone in just under like 8 weeks. He got like 200 scenes done in 8 weeks.
What?
That's insane.
Oh wow.
8
Okay.
I'm like,
weeks.
what?
Wow.
That's
I
incredible.
am honestly impressed.
What are you
That
made
hurts my
out of?
soul to think about trying to do cheese.
I'm like, this guy is a beast.
I definitely agree with you that like how you said in your motivation for making the project that you wanted to like work and like hang out with animators. I definitely agree that that's been like the coolest part of working on this is like working with all the animators. I think that they're so talented and they were like I'd say for the most part like very like just great to work with. I remember when we were dealing with that clipping error, just how fast everybody responded, and any issues that we encountered was just like gotten over really quickly. And I don't know. I think it's just been really nice to interact with everybody and to like get to know them a little more and see their process as well. I thought that was like pretty valuable, and I felt like lucky to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like when that situation was going on, I wanted to do everything I could to like help out, but like the best thing to do is like we caught it fast and we decided to like just be honest about everything because the best thing to do is be honest and also like things will always get solved out. There's always a way of fixing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the best thing to do is like take everything with a cool head.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I wouldn't say I had a cool head at first. I was freaking out a little bit. Like the first time that I saw it, I was freaked out. I think Mad Soup Central was actually one of the first people that I talked to about it, because I knew that she was really invested on the project, and I was thinking, I don't want to scare everybody. I don't want to go in the server and be like, guys, it's so Jover. There's like 5 frames of black between every scene, So I talked to Mad Soup Central. I talked to Billy and Manny Clips. I then eventually did talk to Random Harry, and I figured out a couple ways to fix it. First was the frame hold. I actually didn't really have much experience with Adobe Premiere or anything before I did the collab, so I learned it for this. First was frame holds. If the scene ended on like a still frame, then I could just extend it, so that was easy.
Yeah.
If there was a loop, that was like a singular loop, not like 2 ones that are running on different frame rates. If there was one, then I could go in there and I could cut it and paste it and make a loop run a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Some of the more difficult ones were shots that were completed in 2021, and for those I could do things like transitions. I felt like transitions would I feel like they really did efficiently mask the effects of like having like a couple extra like still frames there, because otherwise it would look a little janky. But with the transitions, that fixed it. That was all I could do on my end. But then when I talked to Mad Soup Central about it, she was like, you should tell the animators. I'm like, yeah, I should. And I think I did like the next day or like the same day. I don't exactly remember. And I pinged everyone. I told them what happened, and then like I believe the first day, like 5 extended scenes got sent in, and it really helped. And it got fixed up. It felt catastrophic at the moment, but it wasn't, and it turned out great.
That's why, like, usually I try to be a cool head about everything because I know things will always get sorted out.
Yeah. And like I know you asked me for like an extended scene, and it's just kind of funny that the one that you happened to ask me for, if I could add 5 more frames to, was literally the worst scene out of the 3.
Me too. Well, wasn't the worst, but it was like
Yeah, it was that big
ears.
dancing one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like all the other scenes I could have gotten back to you in that same day, but this was like, I'm not sure if I'm able to do this and make the jiggling line up. So I was like, I'm pretty sure to do this, I'm going to have to re-render it or spend a lot of time like manually fixing stuff.
Yeah.
And I just had a lot of work, so I just wasn't able to like spare my computer for long enough to actually fix it.
It was all right. I like did stuff with like the previous scenes, and it was completely fine. I was honestly under the assumption that it would be easy to add like 5 frames because it was like a little looping thing, but I didn't know anything. You know, I didn't know anything about the type of animation you were doing or like how the render time would affect things. So when you let me know, I'm like, all right, you know, we could do something else.
Yeah. Because also I had like some deadlines that I was like, I really had to get done. And I was like, if I get lucky and if I end up getting like 200 frames this day, I was like, I'll be able to fix it even if it does take like 5 hours. But it's just like, that's just not that never happened.
yeah.
It turned out fine. It was perfectly all right.
Yeah. I tried to be sort of cool about it, like Bill said. Like, I was like, no, it's okay. We have everything under control.
I was sending like SpongeBob crying gifs and stuff.
Yeah, we were.
Oh yeah.
We were upset, but I kind of knew everything would turn out all right.
Yeah. I'm very, very, very glad it did. Even though it took like a lot more time, it's okay. You know, and you know what? I have experience putting out fires now. You know, I have a lot of experience putting out fires.
Oh yeah.
It seemed like
Only you can prevent forest fires.
it seemed like something like would happen like every like step of the way. Like if something could go wrong, it absolutely would. Like when I was working on the collab. So like for example, when I was rendering the credits, first when I did it in Premiere, it saw every PNG as like a separate moving thing. And when I decided to do the test render for the scrolling credits, that took 5 hours. And I was only a third of the way done. So I figured, you know, if I finish this, is it going to take 15 hours for me to test render? And of course, you know, I'm in college.
I should always cry.
And I kind of need my computer. And I decided to go to the server first thing because a lot of the people there, another benefit of working with so many animators is that they really do know what they're doing, you know, in terms of technology, and a lot of them have been on projects like this before. So they have experience, and I asked, and one of them, Baran Flakes, I believe, suggested that I make them all into one really big PNG in Photoshop and then have that scroll. And then I did, and then that worked out, and it ended up taking like 9 minutes to render. But even then I had to go back and like fix that PNG like several times, and but you know what? It turned out fine, and just another example of like the server being like super super helpful.
And yeah, that was Brawn Flakes.
Mm-hmm.
We also got I don't know if you answered this already. We got like project, like we got a question about like project managing.
Where is it?
What are some tips I should take before getting it started? It's like the third one.
Okay.
For the most
I think I have an answer for this one. Basically, before like you start anything, have everything organized, have spreadsheets made, just have all of like the technical stuff done first before you start like looking for people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think spreadsheet is the number one thing. You 100% need that. If anyone like even thinks for a second that they can do run any reanimate without a spreadsheet, it is, I would say that's like about impossible. I like to use that to keep track of who's in progress, who's done, who has their Grimsona, who doesn't. Everybody's username. You have to make sure you have everybody's username right. You might not realize like until like about you're making the credits, but you need to have like exactly what they want there, because it's important not screw that up, and that might be like something that could be like easily missed if you just sort of have like their current username down in the spreadsheet. That might not be the one they want. So definitely that. And another thing I would say is definitely ask for things or set like some sort of deadline way earlier before you like actually need it. I know when I first did it, I set like the final deadline for when everybody's going to be done for their shots a month before the October release. And I think it was a month. It was like a month or 2 months. I don't recall.
It was September 1st.
September.
I remember.
October.
September 1st.
Okay, so that's a month. Okay. Yeah, and then the next deadline that you set, I did 2 weeks later, and then 1 week later, and then like I don't know, like a couple days or something. But I know with the last shots that we were working on, the people that were working on it, I knew that they were like already timely and that they were going to get it done before I needed to put it together. So that was all right. And you also have to make sure that you're getting progress shots to like make sure that people are working on it. For the most part, everyone did. There was like one person that I had to like say, I'm sorry, but I'm like reassigning your shot because like it definitely wasn't getting done. And sometimes you have to do that. And it's a little difficult, to do that, to like be kind of mean, I guess, but you kind of have to.
I wouldn't say it's being mean. It's mostly like you gotta make the project come first.
Yes.
Because like at the end of the day, you gotta get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For another bit of advice on that is rather than letting people think that they can kind of run out to their point where their deadlines are coming up, is like at the beginning of the project, do let people know that if they don't meet certain benchmarks or deadlines that are like really important to the project, that they will be kicked off. Because a lot of people just kind of feel like, oh, there's, I can just let this fly indefinitely and I'll never have to do it. But if you actually tell them it's like, hey, there's kind of consequences, you'll be kicked off if you end up holding stuff off, then that can be like motivating to a lot of people to realize like, oh, okay, there's consequences for my actions.
I recall one thing. There was like several animators that were from 2021 that like had I got the email, right, and there was no spreadsheet really. So I was just going through email history and like constructing the thing. And one thing I found is that a lot of people were assigned scenes in 2021, but they didn't do them. And so I emailed all of them. I said, hey, are you still interested in your scene? The project is back on. I sent the trailer, and I said, answer these like questions. Are you still interested in working on the scene? And is it alright if this is the deadline? And if you don't respond by this date, your scene may be reassigned. And a lot of people, some people responded, said they were still interested and they finished their shot in time. I guess they like stopped doing it because it seems like the project wasn't going on anymore, which, you know, I suppose that makes sense. But other people like didn't respond at all, and maybe like they weren't using that email anymore. So you do have to like reassign shots, like definitely. And don't just like hold on if like there's no response, because if they're not responding within like a month or like 2 weeks, there's a really high chance that they're like never gonna respond. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I brought that up, because I thought that you handled that part pretty well.
Thank you.
Like, I was waiting to render my shot before like I heard some updates, because that's pretty much all I needed to do for my first shot on the scene. But it's just like, okay, I'm gonna wait till, you know, I get a bit of an update before I spare 5 hours of computer time on this.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like, it was literally done, but I'm also glad that you gave an update, because like I realized I wanted to redo the lighting, and I repainted some of the textures for it, because it's just like, it's been 2 years, I want to, I don't know, give it a facelift.
Right.
Yeah.
Another reason I'm like so happy someone like Osito is like sort of in charge is because like I couldn't like it takes so much work and so much like communication, and I find that like communicating with like so many people to be like really like tiresome, and I feel like I could never do that or like do it while enjoying myself. It's like gotta be so crazy.
I thought that like talking to animators like about their shot, about their work in progress, that was great. However, what was difficult was when I needed to go through all 88 on the email list and send them all like the same email. You know, like I was just copying and pasting. I was like sitting there at my computer for like an hour and a half, like finding everybody's email saying like, hey, progress checker, hey, if you want to do your Grim Sona by this time, email it here. And I was just like going through them. I'm like, oh my god, I am so bored. So like the whole email list sending automated-esque messages, that was, you know, that was boring. But otherwise communicating, like if like something needed to be changed, or like hey, can you extend this, or like, you know, something like that was perfectly fine. But yeah, it was a lot of people that I was like communicating with at the time.
I see. We also got a question about like why we picked Little Rock of Horrors.
That's Random Harry. Oh, unless they're asking why we animated on it.
Why we animated, or why?
Oh yes, I think it's both. What made y'all choose Little Rock of Horrors? Oh, for the video. Okay, well we should answer both. Why we decided to animate on it? I think BDWS already answered that, and I think Random Harry kind of said why he made it, if I'm not mistaken. Because like, you can take it though, Random Harry.
Oh yeah, I've already explained it, but I'll explain it again. I've always wanted to like host a Reanimated collab, and since I already had experience working with people, so I thought, like, what's the best thing to do? Like, Billy and Mandy's like my favorite cartoon of all time, and also I love Voltaire, and like him as a musician, as a person, like I love talking to him every chance I get, like whenever I see him. Like, he's very easily approachable. You could always talk to him. Like, I ran into him in a pizza shop, and I just sat down with him, and he would just let you sit with him and talk to him.
That's awesome.
That is very cool.
But so, and also like the episode's also short too, so I'm like, this would be a good start, this one, because it's perfect since it's like music based too. I felt like this should have been done a long time ago, this episode.
I think I saw a few comments like reflecting that sentiment, like wondering like, why is it only now? You know?
Like, I would like, if there was an a thing to do a Reanimated collab, it would be this episode. This would have been
Yes.
the perfect one. I felt like
It's
this
like-
episode is like perfect for it.
I agree.
Because like I've seen some Reanimated collabs that are like too ambitious or like and I'm like yeah, this is it's really fun, but you got to have the people behind it. And also there's like people who want to do like whole movies and stuff, and I'm like, you got to start small.
Right, like the Lupin the Third. I heard about some sort of like Lupin the Third movie that's gonna be reanimated. I couldn't imagine putting that together.
But yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard about that one. I think.
There's
But yeah,
also
like,
the Toy Story 2 redialed, which you also had to provide like your own audio and stuff for. I did like 2 shots on that one, and then like that same guy wants to do like another one, but I really didn't like how it was managed. Yeah, so that's why I left that Road to El Dorado. But that was one where they did a full movie that actually got like released.
I didn't know about that one.
It's
I've
all of
seen,
Toy
like,
Story
clips.
2.
Wow.
That's the full movie.
You know something that I was worried about? I was a little bit worried about like copyright claim. Like if it were to get taken down for copyright or something like that. I believe that might have happened to Chowder Konishmas for like a short period, but it got put back up. I believe so. That or like I think it was, but
It happened on Freaky Fred too.
yes.
Yep.
And
the,
wait,
like-
do you guys know how they got it back up?
I think Zurel had to handle that.
Wow,
I think
because
you can like communicate with them.
Yeah,
as,
he had
like,
to retry to upload it like 5 times before he could actually get it before it was up. And then now, still, YouTube still has it marked as for children
ooh,
because he never got that part fixed.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I think I know that part.
I thought
For
I
kids
like
one.
that sort of came to mind too, because like we do have like the entire original audio of this Billy and Mandy episode, but
Right.
like Reanimateds were done like in the past, so I just like assumed like because of the rule that like if you sort of like take copyrighted content and you add like new context to it or like you make it something different, then it's okay. And I thought this kind of thing would be like enough, so fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
YouTube didn't hear that.
don't read that law all the way through. And actually uploading like the entire episode from like the audio from it, technically isn't considered transformative enough.
Oh.
Yes. That's like one of the few things that I've actually had to like had formal study in. Like when I got like a degree in commercial
Oh, yeah.
photography was I did a whole thing on like copyright. And so yeah, I see a lot of people getting copyright wrong. Like even technically the Toy Story 2 redialed because it's still a copy of the same script and same story. That's not transformative enough.
Oh, wow.
At least it's not transformative enough to be monetized. So the thing is, like, a lot of these things stay up basically in good faith, or because people don't really see it as like worth the time to actually do anything with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that
But,
I'm worried
like,
about that is that it's like notoriously difficult to communicate with YouTube. Like they just like do not talk to you. There's
Yeah.
like almost no way to speak to like a YouTube person. Like the only way to do it is if like you're famous and then you have all of your fans ping like at YouTube staff or something, and then maybe they'll respond. I think that's a little bit ridiculous of them though, that like it's so hard to get in contact with like any actual people on YouTube.
Yeah.
Even when you're trying to like not monetize off this.
Right. Yeah, it's not monetized. But there hasn't been any issues with it, with the upload.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. I think it should be okay. I believe Little Rock of Horrors was uploaded on YouTube like just by like some random person, and nothing happened. So
Most of the seasons are up on as like whole singular videos, and that's how I watched them.
Are they still? They used to be like even worse about this. Like I remember watching like the entire Kids Next Door series on the bus on the way to high school on YouTube because somebody just like uploaded like 8-hour videos of like the entire season.
Yeah, I remember that. Actually, I watched a lot of Billy and Mandy back in the day in high school on YouTube like that, and like those really long videos.
Don't you remember the days where they would do that? Like just like part 1, part 2.
Oh yes, like the 2-minute like videos. I watched that too, but like with Super Jail. That's how I watched a lot of Super Jail. Like
I love Super Jail so much.
2-minute YouTube segments.
I gotta say, Random Harry, your style really looks like somebody who would like Super Jail a lot.
I actually got to work on Ball Masters. That was like my
I
first
know! I saw that. I remember that. That's why I was like, damn, dude, like, that fits so well.
Like, I was super influenced by Super Jail, too. Because, like, if I want to animate, like, something, I would probably want to do Super Jail.
Fun.
And Christian Caracas is also a nice guy, too.
That's awesome. If you ever want to do another project again, if you ever get the time, I would love to work with you on one of these again.
Yeah. I was an intern on it, though.
Well, I mean, you still worked on it. It still counts.
Yeah, I'd say that counts too.
It was for season 2.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that is super cool. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, so is there like, you know, since this is kind of like a bit of a Q&A and stuff, and you know, I mean, do you have any industry stuff that you would ever, you know, like to talk about, or just fun things you'd like to share, your experience about like how, you know, you just got into it, just something that, you know, you don't get a chance to talk about all the time that you'd love to?
Let's see. I think one of my favorite. I think I just like working with like a team. I love like talking to like people I work with on like certain stuff. Like I enjoy working with the hell of a team. I love those guys. The Lackadaisy team are fantastic people. Just like working with people in general is kind of why I got in this business, just to like work with other people.
That's cool.
On like something that you love to do.
So do you usually like work on like your computer and you talk to your coworkers like via Discord call or something like that? Or do you ever like do like in-person meetings? Like how is that shaken up?
Oh no, like that's all like remote. The only time I was actually doing stuff in person was when I worked with Bill Plimpton on The Simpsons and doing Ball Masters. Everything else I've done was remote.
I see.
So I know you mostly like, or I know you have like direction experience, but like, what is most of your job like? Like, what's most of the stuff that you tend to do?
Mainly like animation.
That's pretty cool that you actually just get to just straight up do animation. Like a lot of the other industry animators that I know just end up doing, you know, like a lot of just kind of grunt work at the studio.
But like, they're mainly like a lot of the indie animation jobs. That's the majority of them I got.
Yeah, that is really cool.
No, like Ball Masters I got to do like in-house.
That is very neat.
Also, Midnight Gospel was done in-house too.
Yeah, wasn't that like Pendleton Board Show?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fun thing about like Midnight Gospel, we all had no idea what that thing was gonna be.
It was pretty unique.
So
oh, please go on.
The funny thing about this was like I didn't know. Mainly, I didn't know what it was going to be until it actually came out. and then like I was blown away by it.
I think that can be one of the curses and one of the perks of doing like independent freelance stuff like this. Like every job, like, oh, except for one thing I did for Adult Swim, like everything that I had that ended up, kind of going somewhere or being part of like a project, I'd end up just getting contacted usually by somebody that's like a friend of a friend. They're just like, hey, we need this get done, or we need this thing done. Are you available to do this for this price? And I'm like, yeah. And then I usually have no idea what it is until a year later that it
Wow.
comes out.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like that's how it was. Like, when I was like, I did a thing for like Hide Wars. I had no idea who I was working for. I didn't know who my employer was. I
Oh,
didn't
that's
know. I mean, it's like they were super great with the deadlines. They gave me everything I needed. I was like, I need money, like, for supplies and stuff, which a lot of people are weirdly stingy about if they want you to do practical stuff. Like they would. But yeah, it's like these guys are just like, they gave me the money up front. They gave me the storyboards. Like I actually got to talk to them a bit about like what's possible and like what would work in the time frame they needed before they finalized the script and storyboard, which was crazy. But I still had no idea who I was talking to or working with, like until the thing was basically done.
Yeah. I've had experiences like that too, but like I'm probably not going to talk about it on here. I could probably tell you like off screen.
Yeah, that's like, this is the only one that I
Yeah.
know that I could mention for sure.
Yeah, but like I can tell it back like I almost got a job on something, but things kind of like didn't work out. I almost got hired at Disney.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Disney.
Disney Television mainly.
Huh.
But like I got interviewed and everything, and it was good. Everything was going good, and then like the layoffs happened, and they're like, "No, we're not." And then they just decided to change their mind.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff like that from a certain mouse run company.
Yeah. But like it kind of sucks because like I was actually going to enjoy I actually would have enjoyed the show I was going to be on.
Yeah, that's the worst when it's a project you're like, I actually really want to do it.
I was going to be a character layout artist.
Oh, that would have been so cool too.
Ooh.
I love the way you
yeah.
draw characters. I think that seems like a job you'd be just excellent at.
I love that was like the one job I want to do in like animation, just like character layout. Like hell, that's what I did at Warner.
Cool. But I'm glad you get to do that, because like that's something that I think like you're like, just from like watching your animations like in general, or just like seeing your whatever work I've seen from you, it's like that's the part that really stands out. Like when I was seeing your parts from this, was just like, yeah, this guy's pretty darn good with characters.
Yeah, but like yeah, it was going to be for the show Moon Girl.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
Ooh.
But like that didn't work out.
Yeah, but even then, like, you still have a pretty like epic body of work you get to talk about now. I mean, like, I know a ton of people have worked on The Simpsons, but that is an absolutely legendary piece of work that any, like, for any animator would be super lucky to get to have something and be like, I worked on The Simpsons.
Yeah, like that was like my first gig.
That's so cool.
It was for like if I could take anything with Simpsons, like, but it was working with Bill Plimpton on The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, which one? Because I think Plimpton did a few couch gags, didn't he?
He got to do DVD menus for the season 19 DVD. That's what I got to work on with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I think on a show like that, that's one of the biggest benefits you have, is getting to work with some of the people that have been on that stuff. Like, even when I was doing Freaky Fred, there's a handful of animators on there that I got to talk to whose like work I already recognized from other stuff, or one of the guys actually was working on Disney TV at the time, and he offered to do a breakdown of my shot of like like all the little just tweaks and stuff just to kind of go over. It's like, okay, like maybe think about holding this longer or this or that, and that helped me so much. That was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite parts about working on large projects like that with more experienced people.
Oh yeah, I love that, especially on Freaky Fred.
Yeah.
But like, I mainly like working with like indie animation people because like all the stuff I want in the animation industry is more there.
Yeah.
It's more fulfilling, and also like I actually like they have the artist's best interest in mind, which I love. It's not as financially rewarding,
That's
but
true.
it's more fulfilling. That's the only downside.
Yeah.
That's the only downside, but it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
If you're financially fine, I would say definitely go for it. But like if you're expecting, oh, like I can only work on this, if you have bills to pay, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
You'll
I know that.
You'll be
Yeah.
fine, but like you're not gonna, because like at the end of the day, it's not backed by like a company or anything where there's like a wage. But like
You
the emotional fulfillment and artist passion, like I love that, and honestly I wouldn't trade that for the world. Because like
Yeah,
in the
for me.
mainstream animation industry, there's like a lot of politics.
Yeah.
What's your
I think
question, Sega Fan 2008? Also, you mentioned you hear about jobs through friends of friends. This is like
That's how I got a
a
lot of my
normie
jobs,
question. But how do you usually like meet friends that know how to find jobs? Like projects like these, or like school, or
You got to talk to people.
like where? Like just like online?
In person, online doesn't matter if you were part of something, and it just naturally comes up and stuff.
See.
Like, I don't think it's like because I've had an experience like that where someone met me through like Hell of a Boss, but like they were they were overstepping a lot of boundaries with that. And
Oh,
with
are you
like
talking about
making
that
a
guy
couple,
that
trying to get
keeps that would like keep emailing the project email? Is it that
Ye-
guy or is it a different guy?
yeah.
Dang.
What happened?
And there's this guy that like that was like wanting to get in contact with like Random Harry about like something, and he kept like emailing the project email, and Random Harry like told me to like watch out for him and stuff.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he really did, especially because it wasn't even Random Harry on the email anymore. But yeah, that was kind of a strange moment.
Yeah.
If anything, kind of reminds me like that fan character from the recent Hell of a Boss. You know, like
You know
kinda...
something funny? Funny that actually, I kept thinking that when that episode came out, and when we were watching the animatic like many months ago, I was just like, this hurts.
Yeah.
Since I also mentioned about the friends of friends thing, I never went to like any in-person school or anything. All my animation I pretty much just learned from YouTube and books, like mostly just Blender, because that's actually most of what I get hired for. It's just general CG art. How I got a lot of the people that I've known from there was like mostly doing a lot of projects and working with a lot of artists in like specifically different fields. Like most of my bill paying money, you could say, comes from doing stuff for musicians. Like I do a ton of those canvases on Spotify. That is something like that's a very regular thing for me. And then like album cover art, album promotion, animations, visualizers, stuff like that. And
I do that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to see some of those. Like if you've
Because
done
like
them.
I work with a lot of bands because
Yeah.
because like I love like bands a lot.
Yeah, same. Like definitely like after this I'd love it if you could link me some of that stuff that you've done. That'd be fun to see.
Oh yeah, sure.
That'd be really cool. But yeah, a lot of them I just kind of met through just being in different scenes, you know, like different like subculture scenes of music. And because I've kind of been, you know, around there for a while, you know, you get to know people, you talk to people, and sometimes there's people that have like, you know, like for years that have like a small band. But like, you know, you were a fan of them when they first started, and then they might check your Instagram or something and be like, holy crap, you actually do art, and then hit you up years later when they actually have money to pay you for something.
Oh
like,
my god.
That has happened to me quite a lot.
That happened to me too. But like I've had that with like a couple bands that I grew up loving.
Yeah, that's really awesome when you get to actually work with somebody who you've been like, I've been a fan of this. Like I have two stories specifically. Like one of them was an artist who basically took a break for like 7-8 years, and I was looking for her first CD. So I just messaged her on Instagram because like her Instagram wasn't where she had a lot of followers. She was like verified on Twitter and everything, but then on Instagram I was just like, hey man, I've been looking for this CD for about 10 years now. Do you happen to have any copies of it? And then like she didn't message me back for 2 years, and then when she did, she saw some of the art that I had posted, and then she was like, hey, do you happen to have a demo reel?
Wow.
And that was how I got like a pretty cool job working for that artist for a while. And then like other stuff was just like, I also recommend being able to like want to do projects for free, like not like for people who can pay you. I mean like collaborate with other artists who have zero money because you're like, I would like to film a music video, I'd like to do this. That's how you can meet a lot of people, is by finding people who want to collab, who, you know, are in a similar position, that want to get stuff out and you want to work with.
And
but obviously like never do stuff for exposure that never works out.
I did that with the band Green Jello, who I grew up with. I grew up with the band because my dad loved like the Three Little Pigs music video, and we would watch that all the time together. And then when I told them like they contacted me, my dad was like, "No way."
That is
yeah, those guys.
Oh, by the way, somebody has a question in the chat. Optimus Hand says, what would you say is the best way to promote your animation as a small animator? And also, I do personally know this guy. He's my friend. He was the one who was helping us like check if the audio was working on the stream earlier.
I remember.
He's working on this pilot called Tristan Toonstar. It's like sort of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type world where there's like humans and like tunes and whatnot. And right now he's working on the pilot, and actually him and I are the only ones animating it. And we've been working on it for a while, and it's probably going to take a little bit to come out. But yeah, anyways, I suppose he wants to ask you guys what would be the best way to promote his animation.
If you're in artist servers, definitely promote it there. But like yeah, just be like, hey, yeah, I'm doing this thing, like it's coming out and stuff. Also, I worked hard on this, like just show it off, like, and like that does help because you get to meet people who are interested in it. You get to like get some like people like seeing it and everything, but that definitely helps.
The main way I like, well, I not that I'm like, I've thought a lot about promoting my art efficiently, because I slack on that kind of stuff, which is really bad. I like anything that's not just like drawing. I like, my brain is like, no. But I do my best to promote, like post links to my posts on Instagram in all the Discord servers I'm in case like anybody interested in that kind of thing, in my kind of style, could possibly see it and maybe follow me and maybe share it to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think promotion. I agree that promotion is also a little difficult. Yeah, I think I'll probably get on it more so once I'm like done with college, because you know, I don't know about you guys. If you guys are like full-time animators, I suppose I'll ask you after I say this, but I'm in college right now getting my biology degree, and I'm also an intern scientist. So most of my time is spent like, you know, in the lab and not drawing, and you know, definitely not promoting. Like if I have free time, I'd rather draw than, you know, try and figure out how to get it out there. But once I graduate, that's something I'm definitely going to work on. I'm thinking that like streaming more often and like just interacting more often online would definitely help with that. How about you guys? Are you guys like artists, like in animators, like all the time, or do you have like secondary jobs or like other like big obligations?
Nah, I'm an animator full time.
I'm full time as well.
I want to say I'm like part-time because, you know, I'm college, but yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I am kind of planning to go to college, but I do like, these days I do like only draw, but I still like, I call it a gap year. I mean, I just graduated high school,
right.
so I'm living at my parents' house, and I'm just like drawing like every day for like hours and hours.
Wow.
Doing
Well,
my
hey,
best to,
gap
like-
year, dude. Take advantage of that. I haven't had
Yeah,
time to work on a
doing my best.
personal project in like 2.5 years. Take
Tell me
advantage
about it.
of that.
Tell
Yeah.
me
I'm
about
doing
it.
my best.
Yeah.
How are you guys
Yeah.
taking care of yourselves? Like sitting over your computer all day. Like, are you all right? You know, like, are you like exercising as well? Like,
Go get a gym membership. I definitely recommend that, because like last year, I was working on Lackadaisy Helba Boss, and like, let's see, I don't know how the NDA is about that, but it's a show that's coming out in January.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and
I'm a
my
big fan of
brain
exercise.
was mush. My brain was mush, and I wasn't getting any exercise, and I was like full of brain fog. So
Yeah.
in like this year, I was like, I need to actually get in shape and actually do exercise, and I'm doing it not just for my body, but I'm doing it for my brain, because like just sitting at a computer all day just doing art is very not good for you.
I took up woodworking to spend less time at the computer. Yeah, it's horrible for your eyes, and also yoga. Like, I had horrible cluster headaches for like a long time, and like, of course, sitting at the computer did not help with that. So yoga is the only thing that's actually been able to help. So I really recommend just getting up and moving. Like, being sedentary is the worst thing for your health.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one thing your body was not meant to do.
I'm a really big fan of exercise. Well, I mean,
Good for you. Like, for
As like a-
seriously good.
yeah, as like a way to like, it just like makes you feel better all around, like instantly, as well as like long term. It's really good for you, and like Also, like, it doesn't like sometimes when I usually have a set time every day for when I exercise, like, which is usually like later after I'm done drawing. But like sometimes I just like can't get going, and then like exercising like immediately like turns on all of my limbs, and I can just like do anything. It's a it's like a superpower.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I know that sometimes when I like don't exercise, like let's say I'm not moving at all, right? I'm like on my couch all day. I'm like super tired, like as if I was like actually running around. It's like almost like the opposite effect. Like if I were to go out and run, I would feel like energized and like able to actually do what I'm trying to do. If I sit on my couch all day, then I'm just tired, you know.
Yeah.
That's actually something that I was telling Optimus Hand here in the upper left corner. You see him, like that thing that BEWS drew. That, you know, that's actually how he looks like, you know. But I was telling him, you know, that he should get up and like exercise and stuff, because he's pretty young and he's making this like pilot and whatnot, and he's working pretty hard on it. And I'm like, you know, it's one thing to get like a bunch of shots like done right now, but then what about when you're 25? You know, you wanna still be working on stuff. It's sort of like a now versus later then, and it's like an important balance to reach.
Oh yeah. So guys, I have a question.
Here's a question. Go ahead.
Oh no, I do. How long do we want this thing to go on for?
I'm thinking we could probably end it pretty soon.
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
good night, Daniel. In chat.
Oh yeah, good night, Daniel.
So
Night.
it does make me think of one thing that we kind of talked about before. About like the thing that you said about like knowing people, and I feel like Random kind of touched on it, is about like knowing people like overstep stuff. I think like if you're going to know people and like talk to people after a while, and you have kind of hopes of doing like some networking, like it is super important to remember, you know, it's just like remember what your relationship is with this person, you know?
Mhm.
Like
Exactly.
Right.
like say like I have had like maybe 2 brief text conversations with Random Harry before. I'm not going to ask him about like, hey, can you hook me up for this show? That'd be insane. And he doesn't have the like, you know, ability to do that, because it's like you have to think about like, what does he work? What does he do? How much do I know from him? But like I can ask him about his art stuff because I'm genuinely interested about that. So like,
Yeah.
think about what are you genuinely interested in about this person, not just because like, ooh, hey, they worked with this. It's just like, hey, do you, I don't know, like how was it working on that, you know, show? I think is fine if you've like talked to them for a little bit or ask them a little bit about their work if you're in that setting. Don't just try to be like, you know, glom onto them, and if they're not really open to talking with you about stuff, take the hint that they're probably not really in a position to tell you too much. Take the hint.
Yeah.
I appreciate like
Right.
both of yours your answers to my question, because when I hear about like networking and like connections and stuff, it's like they always talk about it as like some like forbidden like special thing that like is like really hard to get. I don't know. But I was really intimidated, so especially by the way like things have been explained to me in the past.
A lot of my jobs I got from networking, because like I just naturally like talking to like artists and animators in general. But like getting like gigs like never was like my first thing in mind. I just like talking to other people about what they do.
Online
Yeah.
usually, or how?
Both, online and in person, because I go to networking events too.
What are those like? Like Comic Cons or what?
They're they're kind of like that, but also sometimes they're just like they could be at like a place like we had a party when we finished Lackadaisy. We were in an actual speakeasy in LA.
Wow.
So so I got to meet a whole bunch of people in the animation industry there.
Awesome.
So, and
Yeah, bro.
funny enough, there was a lot of people I already knew already.
Pretty cool.
Like there was people from Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network there, and we're just all talking about like just like Mario Kart or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like
Sure.
he just said, like
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Mario Kart. Like keep it genuine. Like if you're not
Yeah.
genuine, then you have no reason to talk to them. And like, yeah, if it's just gonna be just purely for networking, it's a waste of both of your time, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, of
much. Like
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's the best thing to do. Just be natural. Like if you vibe with someone really well, definitely keep those in contacts because you're not like just looking for like networking. You could also like get friends from it too. Like because like since it's a very small world, friends do matter.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for the friends I've made.
Yeah. Because, like, especially, like if you're actually friends with somebody, that's kind of the best person to kind of vouch for you or know it's like, hey, is this person reliable? Do they meet their deadlines? What do they complain to me about when they're working? You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Sega fan had a question. They said, "Did you ever have some alternative backgrounds for a scene?" Note: I'm doing an abridged version of the Grim. Gosh, I feel dumb. Okay, abridged version of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I expect it to drop soon. That's me answer because I asked them to ask the question again since I didn't see it.
Yeah,
And
I
there's-
think he really does want an answer. I didn't have any alternative backgrounds. I just sort of started and finished my backgrounds for all my shots.
Oh yeah, me too.
Here.
Yeah, me too.
But like, if you want like an answer kind of like that, try. You know how like Billy and Mandy, like has like a lot of like the patterns and like the foregrounds and stuff. Keep the foregrounds.
yeah, I
You know
had
the
to-
the square backgrounds and everything, like the square skies, the square walls, and everything.
Yeah, that took me a while to actually figure out how I was going to do my backgrounds. I had a handful of different variations that I tried out before. What are foregrounds? You have to look that up. Like, we can't give you a good enough, succinct enough answer here, so that is something that I just recommend looking up and doing some research on yourself because you'll get a better answer that way. You'll learn more.
Yeah, that's true. I probably could be able to draw like an example if this page wasn't like completely filled. So yeah,
But still, it's-
your best Google
It's
it.
just that's just something about perspective, and I gotta say, it's like, yeah, learning about perspective is its own media. It's its own thing. It's its own part that you have to learn about before you want to get into the rest of stuff. So yeah, just look that up.
Yep.
In translation, it's a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it
But it
is.
gets into like, perspective and composition and yeah.
All right, y'all. Do you think? Oh,
What does
you go
a bridge
ahead.
mean?
Like
I think it's, longer or
a
something?
shorter version.
Oh.
No, it's a shorter
Oh,
version.
okay.
It's the opposite.
My bad.
It just kind of means like you just kind of cut to the you just kind of like cut to the main points. It's just kind of like a bullet points version of the show. Like
So it's just like cropped and like the scene is like cut, like the episode is cut up and then like
I think it's like almost like
sorry,
it's like
I
almost
have
similar
it,
to like a sort of YTP like thing.
Well, I can't speak about for what they're doing, but for like abridged, like I think like the most common novels that I tend to see abridged are like Dostoevsky novels because they're super long. And say you have like an 800-page novel and they cut it down to like 300 pages, that would be an abridged version of that novel.
See, I was thinking about like something like Sonic abridged or something, where like they take like Sonic games or whatever and they cut it up and they like put their own like voice lines and stuff, and it's like sort of like a joke like thing.
Yeah, it's probably more actually what they're talking about.
I've never seen anything like that,
Yeah.
like show wise or like animation wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, really the only abridged series that I ever watched was like Dragon Ball abridged.
I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Oh yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! I think I've seen like I want to say like the first few minutes of episode 1, but really I was more of a Dragon Ball abridged kind of guy, you know?
Oh no, yeah, I definitely like agree. Like just like Team Four Star like took over back in the day.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
idea because I didn't get internet at my house until 5 years ago. I used to have to ride my bike to the library.
Wow.
That's how I learned Blender. I'd ride my bike
Nice.
to the library every day.
I've always wanted to like learn how to like sculpt in Blender, but like I've animated like props in Blender when I did Lackadaisy. That's my only experience with like Blender.
I feel like
Yeah.
if you can do that, then like you kind of have at least a feel of the layout of the software, and they keep the layout of the software super consistent. It really
Yeah, I've
doesn't.
actually used Blender quite a few times.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm using Blender for like this one commission. I have to animate like a logo for somebody that's going to be like a band that they want it playing in the background in festivals.
Oh, that's
And
Oh yeah.
I'm trying out grease pencil for the first time because all the other 2D animation I've done was just pencil on paper. So I have to learn. Like I learned how to draw on a tablet for this, so I've never used one. And I have to say, it's like there's a few things that feel a little bit weird at first, switching from like their 3D workflow to their 2D workflow, but they keep it so consistent. After I just got over a few initial things, it just feels like I'm still working in the same software, and like I'm just already feel super familiar with it. So yeah, if you can do one thing in Blender, it doesn't take too long to learn everything else in it too. Like except for of course sculpting is a different media,
Right.
so whatever, but on the technical aspect, it feels like the same thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I mostly just use Blender for like box modeling, logo animations. That's pretty much it. Box modeling and logo animations.
On my scene with Lackadaisy, I had to do like Rocky holding his fiddle. I had to do like some alcohol like being thrown or being held. Sometimes the car.
Yeah, I feel like if you can do that, if you get a handle on sculpting, on its own thing, then you'll have no problem transitioning into anything else. It'll be really easy.
Yeah.
How similar is Blender sculpting to physical sculpting? Because I've worked with clay, but I honestly I don't know much about Blender.
I have to say, like, the main thing about sculpting keeps its, like, essence. If you know how to work with something in a 3D medium, like an actual physical 3D medium, it stays kind of similar. The only thing that's kind of weird is getting used to the tools. Like, the tools, that has its own learning curve, and that's going to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a good in-person, like, real-life sculptor, all of those, like everything about like how you work out your proportions, how you block out models, everything stays the same. The only thing that's different is the tools, and the tools, they're kind of weird to get used to.
Oh yeah, question for you then. Did you sketch your characters in like things that you were going to put into your scene before you 3D modeled them, or how was that workflow?
No, this is not how like most people do it, or is like even recommended. But I feel really, really comfortable with 3D modeling, so I went everything just straight to 3D.
Oh.
Like the brain, I sculpted like I tried to look at a few different like reference photos for a brain at first because I don't really like the standard cartoony look. So I just looked at a few ones and then I stylized it a little bit based off that. That's the only thing I really used reference for was just the brain itself. That everything else I just went straight to 3D. All the stuff that I put Easter eggs in for, I just kind of ripped off of actual screenshots from the show. And then I just like 2D projected the textures onto the objects so that way it would, look like that.
Nice. Yeah, speaking of brains, I'm actually next week I'm dissecting a sheep brain. So
Wow, good luck.
yeah, a nice reference.
Oh man,
there.
I don't suppose. Could you like this is something I seriously want and I cannot find anywhere. Could you actually get like photos of it from every angle, like front, back, left, right, up, down, top, bottom?
Sure, but it is a sheep brain, so it's a little bit different than a human brain.
Oh, it's very different from a human brain.
yeah.
I actually just want this for other stuff.
But also, okay, so I could get a picture of that. It's also going to be covered in probably formaldehyde. And it's going to be like...
I assumed it would be.
Yeah. And there's also going to be human brain models. So, like, I don't know if you'd need that or if there's good enough references.
I usually like the textures from like the formaldehyde brains. That actually
okay.
Kind of but yeah, if you want some good brain models, that'd be cool too. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take a picture of that. I'll put on my gloves. I'll flip it around.
I was initially planning on like kind of pulling some of the brain textures from photos of real brains, but like I couldn't find any. Google stifles those results so much when you want to be like real human brain.
Well, you can look for like dissection. That's how you.
I did. I looked on like I even like the only one that I actually got that was like a good like image of it. Like I had to pull from like some PDF textbook of it.
Wow.
Which, yeah.
What about what about dissection videos? Do they
dissection videos were okay, but
probably low quality. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It was not fun. Looking up images of anything bloody for reference is so hard on Google now. Like, if you want to get like really good, accurate stuff, you like now like probably shouldn't say this too much on YouTube, but you have to go to gore sites, or otherwise you just can't get them. Yeah, and that's stuff I don't recommend on anybody.
That's not the most ethical sourcing.
I mean, like, unless you're one of those people that like got used to just like watching gore stuff as a kid, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you like need gore pictures for like photo manipulation, and you need like royalty free or whatever it's called pictures of like gore, then it's like impossible to find anything.
Reddit. Cuff Reddit.
All right, BDWS, I'll bring you some brains.
I would
next
really
week.
Appreciate that. That would make me so happy. And Boshi, yeah, I mean the tools are different, but otherwise the fundamentals are the same. Sculpting.
And actually, if you guys wanted like pictures of like anything else that I dissect, I guess I could get that.
I would probably like all of it.
Okay, I think I've got like a pic. Okay, actually, I had like a picture of like a rat that was cut open. Of course, for dissection, of course, in like the lab setting. And I sent it to my friends. And then I deleted it off my phone because it was like so gross. I didn't want to look at it. But I probably have it in like some sort of Discord message log. You know what was
before getting into art, I wanted to be a biologist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to specialize in taxonomy of Cadetta.
Wow. That's fun. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is really interesting. Something really, really interesting that I wasn't expecting at all from my first anatomy practical. So like I have my anatomy lab where I dissect animals. I'm supposed to know all the organs, muscles, veins, nerves, whatnot, right? Well, my first practical, I was like, I don't know what a practical is. Like, why aren't they calling it a test? You know?
Yeah.
And then I show up. and there's like 20 cut open rats. Like it smells like totally like formaldehyde. The entire room, everybody's silent. We're all holding a packet, and the rats have like these little pins in them with like letters. And we go around and then we look at what structure the pin is in, and then we write it down in our test that we turn in. It's like dead silent, and there's like also like a bunch of microscopes set up. It was like the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was never expecting to be in that situation where I walk into a room and it's like that, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. Like I back when I was really probably at the height of my interest in studying biology, I was like 13 and I was emailing researchers for papers and stuff.
Oh wow.
If you, there's a lot of people. If you just send them
they
an
usually
email,
respond.
they give it to you for free. Like even if it's like locked behind, like at least that's how it used to be. Like a while ago when I was doing it.
I believe it still is. Yes. They
Yeah,
usually do
like,
respond.
There's so much stuff that I just get for free off of it, and it's like so. I was always around that place, like online, seeing all that stuff and just seeing like what other biologists were posting and talking about. So. Yeah, I got my fill of rooms full of brains and wet specimens. At least like through pictures.
Right.
I'm really glad I didn't have to send it in person. I don't ever want to do a dissection. That's something I
really?
hate doing. I hate doing a dissection. I don't want to touch
what
it.
I'm so scared about is like one of the like organs like being filled with like formaldehyde or something, and like I accidentally pop it and it gets on my clothes. I'm so scared about that happening. I mean, let's see. I don't think that we wore lab coats. I don't think that we wore lab coats when we did the dissections, which is messed up because I wear lab coats in my other lab. I don't know. I guess because it like wasn't dangerous, but I just straight up don't want it on my clothes. And no, it doesn't smell good. It smells bad. But the thing is at least it doesn't smell like decay. Like it smells like chemicals, which is like I can deal with that. But if it smells like decay, I don't think I could. Yeah. But what smells the worst is E. coli. Like definitely, it's like this bacteria.
Can't say I've smelled E. coli.
Yeah.
Got it. I never had to deal with that.
I worked with it for a whole week once. And I never freaking want to smell it again. And it's like it's so distinctive because like. I still go to college here. Like sometimes I'll walk past somewhere. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And
wow.
We had like these things that were like basically like they looked like fridges, right? But they were kept at say like 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and so they were incubators. So they were like the right temperature for all this E. coli in the petri dishes to grow. And when you would open it, just like the smell would like hit you, and it was nasty work, man. But you know what's fun with them is you can draw, like you can like, so you take like your colony, right? You mix it in the medium, in the liquid medium. You take your little pipette or whatever, and you put it on the new plate. And you draw whatever you want, and then the E. coli will grow, and then there's your picture. There's your lovely little smelly little picture.
That's cool.
I saw a picture. I saw someone online do that with like a Yoshi drawing.
Bacterial Yoshi.
I've made like Kirby fan art in the lab before because he's easy, easy and circular. Like the plates are already circular. Just put his face on there. There you go.
Did you just have to take a bunch of intestines, like put them in a ball and just like put like a little mouth?
Oh
like,
god.
eyes?
if I were to start like rearranging like the actual specimens for like art purposes, I think I might get kicked out for an ethics violation. Like,
yeah,
I think they might be getting a little suspicious.
That doesn't no time.
Guys, look, I arranged SpongeBob. I arranged several dead rats
to one SpongeBob, guys. Don't you like it?
I got all the pig inside, and I made a whole Patrick Star.
Gosh, that'd be awful.
I drew Sonic with an entire cow's blood.
The worst part about this conversation is like this stuff has happened. If you look it up, you will find it.
You know, so my girlfriend is with me right now. She's laying on bed, and she just hears me talking with headphones on, and she's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, you're at the serial killer convention.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's looking at me like I'm Jeffrey Dahmer right now.
Tell her we're scientists talking about science. It's for
Hold on.
science.
We're talking about science.
You wouldn't understand.
The
All right,
evil,
we're good. Okay, she says we're good.
The evil crossover of biologist artist. Something that wasn't ever meant to be.
I mean, that's kind of what taxidermy is.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Well, I go to the oddities market every year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude. Like, as far as, like, collecting oddities go, I can't tell you how many times I almost bought, like, antique medical gear.
I like teeth. That's what I like.
Ooh, teeth.
Oh, my gosh, dude. I have, I made a crap ton of semi-realistic teeth puppets out of prosthetic, like, denture teeth replacement and latex.
That's awesome.
That sounds awesome.
I remember
That's awesome.
when I got my wisdom teeth removed, I really wanted them to give me my teeth, and they wouldn't do it. They told me they couldn't give it to me. They had to throw it away or something. But I remember
Some places will. Some places will give it to you.
I woke up
They-
in the
they
middle
gave
of the
me mine.
procedure. For some reason, I woke up in the middle of the procedure, and I was like I couldn't really talk or anything. They were like all up in my mouth. I was like, "Rah," and then they showed me my teeth. That they took out of my mouth, and I gave them a thumbs up, and I passed out again. Unfortunately, I
Nice.
never got to keep my teeth. They took them from me.
So messed up. So
Yeah.
many places
What
like
are they
let
gonna
you
use
keep
them for? That's so unfair.
Yeah, like I
But-
grew them myself. You know, they're my teeth.
They're yours.
I have
I
the
spent a
right-
really long time on them.
When I
I've
got my
always-
wisdom teeth removed, the funniest thing I saw while like I was on the gas, I had to be carried out of like the doctor's office, and I look in the waiting room and I was like, I just saw President Lincoln get shot.
Oh, I remember when I was coming off it, like the nurse, like they're like asking me like to like say stuff, and like I was like perfectly fine mentally. However, the nurse had 4 eyes.
Oh.
Like my process, like my mental state was fine. It was just visually stuff was a little strange.
Yeah. Also, I like when you said that they like showed you your teeth. Like, I feel like if I was like on the gas and like somebody like shoved like bloody teeth into my face, I would like freak out or something. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
No, I was very enthusiastic to see them / possibly have them.
I would.
Of course, as a biologist.
Yeah,
That's just
no
standard biology
problem.
stuff.
Yeah.
used to bloody teeth.
He's doing a lot worse.
I know. Speaking as like about like becoming like prominent on the internet and like people who are like weird to you and stuff. I know like certain trolls will like send like straight up like gore pictures to like people's like email address, but I feel like as a biologist, that's just like my Wednesday class. Like, I feel like that's another advantage. You know, you don't really get
What if-
bothered by this kind of
What if
stuff.
trolls are just biology majors secretly?
They're just sharing their work.
Yeah,
Honestly, a lot.
They're just sharing their like their Thursday lecture class.
Oh my gosh!
I think that's more med students. I think the ones that stare gore like that just willy-nilly and not think of it. Like, I have this one friend. She was like taking part of a surgery and like she's in med school, and like sometimes she just posts, like sends me pictures of it. And just like, I feel like that should be an ethics violation, but like apparently they don't really care.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's sort of interesting how like
just like,
the normal population,
Cool, buddy.
the usual population just really doesn't want to see that stuff, and it's important to remember that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like, sure, I'm a bit of an exception, but at the same time, it's just like ethics violation of sharing a patient. Like, sure, it's their guts and insides, and there's no identifiable features, but like, I feel like there would be. But apparently, a lot of people do it.
Wow. I know if I was getting a surgery, I wouldn't want pictures of me all opened up on like a Discord, you know?
I know. I feel like that should be a serious ethics violation.
That's so weird. But like, I love how we just talk about animation just to talk about body parts.
Well, I mean, it is the brain-eating meteor, you know?
Yeah.
Relevant episode.
Oh yeah.
They're
I
getting
just
their
realized that
organs
now
sucked
it
out.
fits.
Yes.
I just realized that now it fits. It fits now.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
Billion Man fans.
And also for like a crossover with like the Zim fans, like that
Absolutely.
Dark Harvest episode.
So I actually wanted to make a Dark Harvest reference, but like I didn't have the time. I was gonna be like, don't start stealing organs in front of like they're a trained medical professional.
More organs means more.
Yeah,
damage.
Yeah.
like I was referencing the line. You think you could fool a trained medical professional? Yes.
That's the only other Zim episode I think I'd like to try to do a Reanimated on.
I remember Zurel wanted to do the Baloney episode.
Yeah, I remember. If he does one more, I would like that, but I don't think he's gonna.
Nah, he's
But, like-
in the monkey wrench.
Yeah, if he ever does another one, I'd be interested in that. And if the right person wants to do like the Zim Dark Harvest, like either somebody that I know or somebody I think is like good at this stuff or has like a decent following, like Shafrillis or whatever, because I've been on that guy's Reanimated stuff, whatever.
Oh
Like
wait,
some-
I was on two of them too. I was
Yeah,
on the
the
Shiny
shiny
and the
one?
VR guest.
Yeah, I was on Shiny and VR Guest too.
Oh my god, did we just not cross paths or something?
I've seen your stuff, but I don't usually see it. It's like that's why I wanted to, be on the project. Because like I see this guy around a lot, and he does good work. That's why I was interested on this project. But yeah, I mean, like I'm not like super pushy about it. If I just like see you every, like I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, we did like 3 Reanimateds together. It's just gonna be like,
So,
hey, you did a good job. That's pretty much
Thank
all I'm
you.
gonna give you.
Oh my god.
I think
Yeah.
I think Dark Harvest is like so messed up, and I agree that it would be super fun to reanimate, especially like after getting all this like I mean for me specifically getting all this experience with like real like guts and organs and stuff. One thing I was hoping for when I took this course was that it would like help my actual art. But a lot of my like sketches for it, because of like just the sheer amount of stuff that I have to like remember, they're like basically like glorified like stick figure like body parts and like bone parts and whatnot. But I'm sure afterwards, once I actually have the time, I can like actually process all this information and draw like better anatomy and whatnot.
That'd be really cool. It does help a lot. Like if you like really get used to like reading all this stuff, it does help a lot. Like I have a copy of Grey's Anatomy from like 1910, 11. I can't remember the exact edition, but it's like one of the ones from like 1910, 11. And like I used to just read that like all the time, and just like of course the illustrations in it are amazing, but like when you really get used to like all the anatomy of it, like I always get asked how do I draw hands so well without using reference, and it's like it's because I've memorized the anatomy of a hand
Yeah.
that I can draw a hand in any perspective at any time.
Like this guy over here. like my good buddy in the left corner.
He knows how to draw the hands so well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just funny because I'm just drawing with a tablet that I still hate using. I'm not gonna try and lie and say that that's a good hand. Okay, that's just trying to doodle and make funny monsters on the sketch.
I think he's really
Really
off-putting. I think he's really creepy, which I think was like what you were going for. So,
Honestly, that's just kind of what I doodle when I'm not like when I'm half looking at it and half focusing on something else.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Love
But
it.
yeah, if I wanted to do a Dark Harvest reanimate, I think it would be much more fun to do if it like only gets released on Newgrounds, because then you
Oh.
don't have to worry about gore or anything. You could make it horribly brutal and just make it to the point where nobody wants to like sit through it. Like make somebody like be like, oh my gosh, that's too far.
It'd
I
be
love
like
doing that.
like a challenge trying to sit through the Dark Harvest Reanimated.
I would love doing that so much. I feel like Zim, like since that was like nothing affected me more than Zim growing up. So I think like that, and also I think like just like my general style of stuff would fit with it so well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would really like to do that because like I didn't want to go like too creepy or weird with stuff. Now it's like I still wanted it to be like pretty recognizable, but I still like tried to make the skin as unpleasant as possible. Like if you zoom on Billy's face, his skin is covered in blackheads and pimples.
Wow.
The old man is like his skin looks disgusting when you see him naked, and he has no eyeballs. I didn't give him eyes. But I did give him a fleshy, like inside of your mouth texture for his eye sockets. If you
Wow.
zoom in close enough, you will see that.
I remember like thinking like how like gross like the cops' eyes were, like of course in a good way, they were like so nasty with like the veins and stuff, but it was really effective. I loved it.
Yeah, I just painted those eyes in Blender, mostly just with a noise brush. Yeah. But yeah, I took the time to actually like make sure like the eyes had that unpleasant texture. I wanted to make sure everything had a really unpleasant texture to it. Because like I feel like Billy and Mandy is very much the same as like Invader Zim, where everything just feels kind of grimy and gross.
Right,
But like Maxwell Adams has so much more of a clean style. Like even if he's like, you know, like the style of the whole show, even if it's supposed to be something disgusting, it still kind of looks clean. And that's something that I like about Zim is nothing is clean. Everything is disgusting. Everything is horrible.
Oh, like Bloaty the Pizza Hog.
I feel like that was kind of missing in like Enter the Florpus. I'm like, why is the world not gross?
Right.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. But yeah, it needs, if it's not disgusting, if it doesn't make you look like you're in one of those places that's like in a really seedy part of downtown where you like you stepped on some vomit and see a blood stain, then it's not Invader Zim.
Yeah. No, like all the walls had like stains. Like everything had like some sort of like this stuff's getting grit to it.
Stains and ooze and slime, and it just feels like it smells horrible.
And grease.
Yes,
A lot of grease.
Wet. Everything is wet in the worst
Yes.
possible way in Invader
Yeah,
Zim.
everything is just like every one of like those backgrounds just look moist in the worst way possible.
Oh,
the Invader Zim world.
Feels like it's just gonna like ruin your breathing.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was watching Enter the Florpus for the first time, like I tried to be more open because like I grew up in Invader Zim a lot, but like the only thing that really like took me out of it, like art style wise, like because I know like the art style changed a bit, mainly with like the colors,
Mm-hmm.
and also like they kind of roundified it a bit, but like I could get behind that just a bit because like Aaron Alexovich was involved with the character design too,
Mm-hmm.
and also Jonan's style too has evolved.
I actually found it to
But,
be a
like,
bit similar to the comics. Anyways. go
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going for the
yeah.
comics. But like the one thing that I just didn't get behind was that the world wasn't gross. I'm like, this is not right. That was the one thing I couldn't get behind.
There was like the world was a little too clean. I was thinking about like gross parts. The thing I definitely remember is the pudding. I think like Gurr eats like a ton of it. He's like big
He, like,
globulous creature.
Honestly, when I saw that scene caught me off guard, and I loved that.
It's a good movie. If you haven't
It
seen
is a good.
Yes.
It
I
is a
liked
good
it.
movie though.
I've seen it.
I
I've seen
actually went to school with someone. His name is like Steven, who he got to do like the anime sequence.
Oh, like
So
Yeah.
cool.
that one that was
it's
awesome.
like the one where he's like, I'm Dib Membrane, I'm 12 years old, and he looks like a JoJo character
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Beginning.
yeah. That scene is so good. Like
Yeah.
that guy, Spencer. Spencer is so talented.
That's so awesome.
He got to do some stuff for
Yeah.
Spider-Verse too.
Dang, that's awesome.
Nice. I feel like the Halloween episode would also be really fun to do because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like a
Oh
nightmare
my gosh,
one.
that's true.
A lot of I always found it like a little bit scarier than Dark Harvest, but
Yeah.
I was never alive as a kid when Zim was airing to be traumatized by either of them. So
Those were genuinely traumatic if you see those as a kid. Like, I actually just found Dark Harvest really funny, but like the Halloween one was just like, God, this is disgusting.
yeah, Nightmare Bitters.
Yeah,
I loved Nightmare Bitters, but also like
she was great.
I love Nightmare Professor Membrane.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
That was
And,
so
like,
cool.
Jazz is like drooling.
Oh,
And I love how
their
Jazz
teeth
had
all
like
out.
no jaw.
Yeah.
She had no bottom jaw. And she's drinking the poop juice.
Yeah. I rewatched it recently, and I was just like, "How did this was like allowed to air? Like, oh my gosh!"
I think the only thing I found gross in Invader Zim was when like Zim was going through like a metamorphosis during the equinox.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
when he was in
That was
like fast
That was the
food
only
place.
thing I was like, yeah, he was working at a fast food
Oh
restaurant.
yes, okay.
He like exploded.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that was the only time in the show I'm like, that's kind of gross.
I remember what grossed me out was actually in Dark Harvest where he like threw up like a little bit or like coughed up like a little bit of the guts.
When I was a kid, I was like, that looks delicious.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we turned out fine. Us early 2000s kids, we turned out fine.
It's
Fine.
good character
Okay.
development, you know?
Yeah, we
it
turned
builds
out fine.
character.
My friend made this one joke, and I always say this: like, why are we so desensitized to everything? We're like, because we watched Robot Chicken as kids.
Man, I really wish that there was something that was kind of comparable to some of these, like earlier, just like really gross cartoons. Like, it's so fun to work on and make stuff like that, but there's not really. I haven't really seen anything that's like quite that visceral. Like, even a lot of stuff for adults just doesn't have the same level of viscerality when you see it.
Yeah. I mean,
I think we
some
need like some
stuff,
show
I think
to
it
like
goes
do it.
over the top.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like to have the same impact now, you have to go like stupidly far, but that's also kind of fun. Like, there are some really fun sequences in Devilman Crybaby, the Netflix one,
Mhm.
but like they were fun and they're like supposed to be kind of gory, brutal, gross, or whatever, but they still don't have that same like impact. It's not the same feeling as you get like even watching like Zim. Like, sure, like it's fun to watch the demons like rip themselves out of human skin, and like the animation sequences on it, they just went crazy, but it's like more just psychedelic trippy fun rather than body horror.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You gotta be the change you wish to seek in the world. You gotta make
Alright.
these gross, wet animations that look like they smell really bad. You know, someone's gotta do it. Someone's gotta do it.
All right, everyone, let's go. All right, let's go make some body horror.
I have some stuff planned that I've been working on.
I actually have like a short I want to like make. that is something like that that does involve body horror.
Oh, neat.
So
If you ever
I
get
have
the
a-
time, go for it.
I have a character named Dr. Deals. He's basically a human doctor for monsters.
That sounds fun.
And like I wanted to pitch this as a show because I feel like it would get picked up.
Oh, nice.
So if I ever want to like pitch something, that would be like the thing I want to make because I have other IPs I'm more passionate about, but like because once you pitch something, you don't own the rights to it anymore.
Right.
I feel like Dr.
Yeah.
Deals, I would be fine if it did get picked up. I would be fine like signing it away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I feel
You just
like
need to send it out into the world.
yeah, I feel like this would be the one that could like have a better chance, but also I would be fine with letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I want to make a cartoon about him doing like surgery on like the mayor's daughter who has like a brain tumor.
Dang.
But like he was working on a patient who has like little gas tumors and he accidentally opens one of them and he starts tripping.
That sounds
Oh, wow. That does sound
And
fun.
he's like he's phasing out of reality. And he has to perform this surgery.
Oh, that is cool.
Yikes.
That
It's
is
really
cool.
fun.
One of like my influences for like this short I want to do is like the trip out scene from Beavis and Butthead.
I love animated trip sequences.
Oh, yeah.
That's like one of my favorite things
Yeah.
to see.
love
Funny
getting
enough,
to
like-
animate them. I haven't gotten a chance to do a lot, but the few I've done were really fun.
Oh yeah. Also BDWs. Another influence in my style is actually Rob Zombie art.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah.
That definitely
Didn't he
makes
also
sense.
Work on that Beavis Butthead trippy sequence thing.
I met Chris Pernensky. Like, he actually showed like an extended version of it because they did have a full 2-minute version for that scene in the movie, but they had to cut it
Oh,
out due to time
cool.
restraints.
Oh yeah.
So like he tried uploading it publicly, but it's hard. But he keeps getting copyrighted, even though like he worked on the thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
that happens a
unfortunate.
lot. Like Trent Reznor has this one short film that he did forever ago, and he has tried to release it for free so many times, but it keeps getting blocked by the record labels that he was with at the time. So he put it up to Pirate Bay a few years ago,
Wow.
and he
Oh.
he put it up
Oh
like,
yeah.
Nice.
and what he just said, like he didn't like link to it or anything. He just made a tweet that just said, "This one you can enjoy for free." Yeah, that of course got taken down, but it's up on archive.com. Unless you really want to watch it, don't look it up. Unless you know what it is, don't look it up.
Okay.
I'll give it to me because like I am a friend of Trent's work.
Yeah, I really like it, but like like those like I'm not gonna name them here just in case I don't want to get anyone too curious. But you know those few videos that he uploads every now and again to the YouTube that get taken off?
Mm-hmm.
Most of those are like kind of part of this, but there is a lot of in-between sequences that are so much worse than anything in any of the other videos.
Okay.
Like significantly. I mean, it's still kind of a fun thing, but yeah. It's still just kind of like unsettling and just like, ugh, leaves you with a bit of an ick feeling when you're done watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan.
Nice. I had a whole road trip where I listened to nothing but Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, I get that. I've definitely had jobs where I was working where it's just like I pretty much just went through the whole discography multiple times. Oh man. Like yeah.
Oh, guys,
I
you-
remember
oh,
like
sorry. You go ahead. You go ahead.
listening to the album With Teeth. When I
Yes.
listen to With Teeth, it feels like downward Spiral, but diet.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's like a diet version of that.
It really is, but it's like also kind of more poppy in a way, which
Oh yeah.
but like that can make it good for different moods. So I still like it, but yeah, it's definitely diet downward spiral. I think that's a really good way of putting that.
Yeah. I realized that after like listening to it again.
Yeah. Like man, like I really do think that Downward Spiral is one of the best albums ever made. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, because like a lot of the stuff in mine like had a lot of thought put into the songwriting process.
Yeah. And just the sonic texture of all of the songs. Like there's so few things that have that like just texture and feeling that match the lyrics and everything so well. It's really cool.
Even like if you listen to the song Hurt, like it actually is supposed to sound like you have a hole in your head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah.
Sega fan has a question in chat. I don't know what they're.
Okay, so you guys were talking about this animator, Trent something. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Oh no, he's a
Reznor is
musician.
not an animator. Yeah, he's a musician.
Okay.
And he made some he worked on some films for music videos. They're not. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Some of them are very NSFL.
Sega fan asked if it was the guy who did the Nair video, and I think I know what he means by the guy who did the Nair video, but I'm not. What's your answer first?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure he didn't, because if he did that, I would have known.
Okay, no, I think the guy who did the Nair video is this guy on YouTube who, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but he uploaded, like, you know, how he used Nair, and you know he was very open about it. How about I just say that, you know?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
I know
on
that one
YouTube.
purely because E Canyon did a video on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's pretty much where I get my understanding of like most stuff that's going very popular on YouTube is his stuff that I put on in the background
Oh,
while I'm
wow.
working for his second channel, because otherwise I don't care enough to look into it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I accidentally put some dots on the screen.
How dare you?
You guys are ever drawing on this and like somebody like uses the bucket fill and like makes the entire screen like blue or something?
I did that last time.
Always a jump
Oh
scare.
yeah. For...
Yeah.
I've been on a few magma canvases before, and that's definitely me. Well, I haven't done it personally, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, guys, do you think it's about time that we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Are you guys down for that? We're all done drawing?
I think it makes sense. We've been
Yeah.
doing this for a few hours. Yeah, 2 hours
Yeah.
ago. We're streaming.
Yeah, we have.
We're long past the stage of filling in spaces with random billies. So
Too many Billies.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. If anyone has some closing comments, speak now.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
thanks everybody for
I guess I
watching.
might- Alright, so yeah, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. I live stream every Tuesday or so, and I tend to upload every Saturday, if not every other Saturday, so yeah. If you want to check out my channel.
Oh yeah, everybody's. I'm going to update this so that everybody's links to whatever they want is going to be in the description. And also, I suppose if we're plugging ourselves, you know, check out my channel as well. Check out the gaming channel I'm on, Optimus Plays Things, and check out the upcoming pilot I'm working on with my friend Tristan Toonstar. And so that's
Cool.
about it for me. I'm gonna link related things in the description now. Next person can speak.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot one more thing. I'm working on that Powerpuff Girls animation thing. I already mentioned this earlier in the stream, but yeah. So yeah, next person.
Unless
Um,
You
you're
can check
gonna-
out Oh my
I was
God.
gonna say, Rain, you're quiet, so why don't you go?
You can check out my stuff at Mad Soup Central on YouTube or Instagram. I like drawing surreal stuff and monsters, and I got some cool animations coming up. So follow and keep an eye out.
You can find me on Twitter and just watch like the new Hell of a Boss episodes and like Monkey Wrench when it comes out. Like that's a lot of my stuff's on there.
Excellent.
Yeah, and a lot of my stuff. Sorry.
Sorry, I just said.
Sorry about that.
You
But
go.
yeah. Yeah. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and DeviantArt, all at Aiden Defren and DEFREHN.
I'm pretty much the only BDWS. If you search for that, you'll find me. I don't think I've uploaded to my YouTube
Alright.
in like 2 years, but I have multiple short films that are completely done. Got like a stop motion one and stuff.
Oh,
That
nice.
I'm gonna release them one day. I just really don't like posting on stuff. Like, I don't know, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. They just make it not fun. But I
Okay.
have a lot of stuff if you ever want to check it out.
Right.
It'll be up someday, eventually.
All right.
Oh yeah, I am gonna be doing a behind the scenes video for this where I actually do like a few short tutorials. It's gonna be like maybe 6 minutes total video though. That's it.
Cool. All right. I think everybody said their piece. I don't know if I mentioned. I'll just say again. I'm at Osito Draws. I think that's about it. Thank you, everybody, for watching and tuning in. And if you watch it later, also thank you. And see you guys. Bye.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Have a day.
Bye.
Okay.